friends, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. Say, what favorite American sport comes to your mind the very second you hear the names of Sam Berry and Dave McMillan and Nat Holman? That's right, it's basketball, championship basketball. Because those men are three of the best-known college basketball coaches in the country. Nat Holman is in charge of the great team of New York City College. Dave McMillan looks after the famous Minnesota Gopher squad. And out on the West Coast, there's Sam Berry, who coaches the University of Southern California basketball team. I'll bet you'd give plenty to play on a team coached by Holman or Berry or McMillan. It's a cinch you'd learn a lot of basketball. You'd get the very best and latest dope about the right kind of training for basketball players. And here's a good bet. If you followed your coach's personal recommendation of a good training diet for athletes, you'd eat a breakfast of champions nearly every morning. That gives you something to think about, doesn't it? Every one of these top-notch basketball coaches eats Wheaties and recommends Wheaties for young athletes in training. First, there's Nat Holman of City College. Nat Holman says, to eat a nourishing breakfast every morning is part of my personal training schedule. And my favorite dish is Wheaties. Then there's Dave McMillan of Minnesota. Dave tells us, Wheaties pack solid nourishment for an athlete in training and a flavor that's always mighty easy to take. And now we come to Sam Berry of Southern California. He's another Breakfast of Champions fan. Sam Berry says, a big bowl full of Wheaties with plenty of milk and fruit makes a nourishing, well-rounded meal. One I recommend to everybody who likes keen flavor and a good, substantial breakfast. There you have it. Three famous coaches put their okay on one famous Breakfast of Champions. The very same training dish you can enjoy every morning right at your own breakfast table. And believe me, Wheaties really deserve all this tremendous popularity. They're good, plenty good, and brimming with nourishment. Be sure to get some Wheaties today. And now, Jack Armstrong, the all-American boy. While Malleus Moros are driving tent pegs for the night's camp along the Jungle River, Uncle Jim and Betty are watching the late afternoon sky for the arrival of Jack Armstrong and Billy in the autogyro airplane. It's the end of the second day's trip up the river into the interior of Mindanao to rescue Professor Loring. And all day long, the heavily loaded Vita, paddled by Malleus Moros, has been skirting the impenetrable jungle. They're making camp on the edge of the river now, and Betty is very much worried because Jack and Billy haven't appeared. Listen.
Oh, Uncle Jim, I'm afraid that something's happened to Jack and Billy. Why, they should have been here long ago.
If they had been here long ago, Betty, they wouldn't have known where to stop. They couldn't tell exactly how far we'd get up the river today.
Just the same, I can't help being worried about them. After all, Jack hasn't had much experience piloting an autogyro.
He's got enough experience, Betty. I let him take the controls yesterday. Why, he put that ship through her paces just as though he'd always flown the windmill plane.
But the engine may have stopped, and he might have come down in the jungle.
Jack never takes unnecessary chances, Betty. He'd always be above the river where he could make a good landing if he had to. I'm much more worried about our beachcomber friend. Whisper should have returned to us by this time.
Oh, I'm worried about him, too, Uncle Jim. If those Moros that he went up the river with ever suspect that he's not their friend, well, they might do something terrible to him.
Well, they certainly might. And on top of that, it'd take us a long time to find out just what tribe is holding Professor Loring. And I'm somewhat surprised that we haven't overtaken Chapato and Lazaro yet. They've got a heavy Vita to paddle, and I figured we'd get inside of them by this time. As soon as Jack and Billy arrive, I'll have them fly up the river a little way and see if they can spot Chapato's Vita.
Oh, look, Uncle Jim. There's the autogyro now. See it? Way down the river, flying close to the tree.
I see it, Betty. Jack's flying low to make sure he won't miss it. Well, one of our worries is over. I'd feel better if Whisper'd show up. I'm really uneasy about him.
Oh, I am, too. But maybe Jack and Billy will see him when they fly upstream. Jack will be surprised to find that we've stopped so soon in the afternoon.
We had good reason to stop so soon, Betty. Do you see that curve in the river just ahead of us?
Oh, I see it, Uncle Jim, but I can't see around it.
Malua tells me that the Moro village of Colita is just around the bend.
Colita? Why, that's the village of the Moro tribe that attacked Cotabango when we were there the first time.
It's the village, Betty. And those Moros are all for Sultan Baloa. We outwitted them and when we were here before, and they haven't forgotten it.
Oh, Uncle Jim, will they try to stop us when we go by?
I don't think so, Betty. We gave a pretty convincing demonstration of the magic of the luminous dragon's eye ring. They're afraid of the power of the ring. But just the same, Malua sent one of his mortals into the village to get what information he could. Here comes Malua now. Did your man return, Malua?
He not come back yet, Uncle Jim. But he comes soon.
But maybe they'll capture him, Malua. Maybe he'll never come back.
Patty, you very smart girl, but you not know all about Malua. My men go everywhere. My men always come back.
Malua seems to have a secret intelligence service of his own, Betty. The man he's sending to the village used to live there. They think he's still one of the village.
Oh, I hope he'll come back soon. He may have some information about Geppetto and Lazaro.
Here come Jack and Billy in Eagle that flap wing. Pretty soon, everybody in village see Eagle that flap wing.
Is that what the Moras call the auto gyro, Malua?
That's right, Uncle Jim. They call him Big Eagle that flap wing. They afraid of him. They think maybe he comes down, fly away with someone.
It's a good thing to remember, Malua. If we ever get in trouble with the Moros, we'll threaten to have the eagle come down and fly away with him.
Oh, look, Uncle Jim. Jack and Billy are right overhead. Why, they're going to come straight down.
Didn't I take it Jack was an expert with that windmill plane, Patty? Look at him. He's going to set her down right next to the Vita.
Oh, he'll hit the Vita.
Oh, no, he won't. But he's going to come pretty close. He's down safely.
How's that for a landing, Uncle Jim? Jack is some pilot, isn't he?
He certainly is, Billy. Stay where you are. I've got another job for you. I'll come down to the river. Come on, Betty.
I wish I could go with them this time, Uncle Jim.
Nothing doing, Betty. That ship only holds 2 people. I'll take you up with me someday. Well, Jack, Betty was a bit worried about you.
We flew up the coast a bit, Uncle Jim. I wanted to see where Geppetto's lugger went to. It's sailing back from the direction of Zamboanga.
Well, I want to find out what's happened to Geppetto and Lazaro. We should have overtaken their Vita by this time.
Well, shall I fly up the river a little way, Uncle Jim?
Well, I wish you would, Jack. And I'm worried about Whisper. He hasn't rejoined us yet.
Holy smoke, I hope nothing has happened to him.
Keep an eye out for his Vita, too. And remember, the village of Colita's just around the bend. Don't make a forced landing there.
We'll try not to make a forced landing anywhere, Uncle Jim. Say, if he'll swing the tail of the ship around so we point to midstream, I'll take off right away.
All right, Jack. I'll wait it and swing the tail around.
Slide the cowling closed, Billy, so the engine won't make so much noise. Okay, Jack. There. Boy, it gets hot with that cowling closed. We'll get some ventilation as soon as we get going. Well, we're pointing all right now. I'll start her up. Is everything all clear, Billy? All clear, Jack. Okay, I'll feed her the soup. Shall I apply power to the rotors for the takeoff, Jack? Not this time, Billy. We've got room for a long run. We'll be off the water in half a jiffy. I wonder why Whisper hasn't rejoined Uncle Jim yet. I don't know, Billy. Maybe he hasn't got the information he wanted yet. And maybe those 2 Moros in his Vita got suspicious and did something to him. I hope not, Billy. How are the rotors? Revving up okay? Yep, okay. Then up we go. Golly, we're almost climbing straight up. I want to get altitude quickly, Billy, so we can see around the bend in the river. Look, Jack, I can see over the trees now. There's the village ahead of us. Oh, it comes right down to the edge of the river, doesn't it? And the nipa shacks are built on piles just like all the other Philippine villages. You see any Vitas in the river? They're nothing but Vitas, Jack. But they're all pulled up on the beach or tied up under the shacks at the edge of the river. Maybe Geppetto and Lazaro have tied their Vita up there, too. And maybe Whisper's made a landing there, Jack. Say, he'd better not be there. Geppetto's there. Geppetto will tell the Moros who he really is. Look right under us, Billy. There are a couple of Vitas right next to the riverbank. And there's somebody in them, too, Jack. Jumping Jiminy, gee whiz, there's Whisper in one of the Vitas. What's going on? I'm going to drop down, Billy. I'm going to drop down right over those Vitas. I think that Geppetto and Lazaro are in the other one. And there's something funny going on. Down we drop. I see what they're doing, Jack. Geppetto and Lazaro are getting into the other Vita. They've told the Moros about Whisper. They see us, Billy, but they know we won't land. We're going right ahead. They're capturing Whisper. Holy mackerel, Jack. Isn't there anything we can do to save them? Now there's not, Billy. There's just the 2 of us against Geppetto and Lazaro and the Pandita and 2 Moros. Well, they'll take him to the village for sure. Maybe we can rescue him there. No, they haven't got him yet, Jack. Boy, oh boy, look at Whisper's scrat. He's knocked Geppetto into the water, and he's knocked the Pandita overboard. But he can't lick them all, Billy. There, Lazaro has a jiu-jitsu hold on one arm, and the 2 Moros are jumping him. They've got him down. Doggone it, I'd give $1 million if we could get down there and help him, Jack. We have to keep our heads, Billy. We can't risk Geppetto capturing this plane. There, I'm as low as I dare get. Whisper knows we're around. He'll know that we'll try to rescue him. Let's get back and tell Uncle Jim. Let's fly over the village for a minute, Jack. Then we can get the lay of the land. Okay, Billy. Now, look at the Moros swarm out to watch us. I bet they've never seen an airplane before. Jumping crickets. Look, Jack, they're running. They're running in all directions at once. They must think we're some more magic from Olive. They haven't forgotten the lions and tigers that jumped around them when we flashed the moving picture. think we're some gigantic hawk that's swooping down to carry one of them away. Look, they threw their spears at us, but they aren't waiting. They're running, too. Well, I guess we've scared them enough, Billy. Let's get back now. We'll fly over the Venus to see what they're doing with Whisper. Wow, that's a steep turn you're making, Jack. Oh, there. Feel better now. I was afraid that you'd slip right down into the village. Oh, not with this machine, Billy. Now we'll be over Geppetto in just a second. What are they doing now? Oh, they've got Whisper and Geppetto's Vita, Jack. They must have him tied up. They better tie him up tightly. Ah, I see what they're doing. They're paddling onto the village. They're going to take Whisper to the village. We're going to have to do some tall thinking to rescue him, Billy, and we're going to have to do it quickly. Yeah. I wonder if Whisper found out all about Professor Loring before he ran into Geppetto. I bet $1 million he did, Billy. I'll bet everything would have been all right if they hadn't run into Geppetto and Lazaro. We'd better make it all right anyway, Jack. Hey, look. We passed the bend in the river now. Why, we're almost back to our camp already. I bet Uncle Jim is wondering why we've come back so soon. He'll guess that we have some important news. There's Betty waiting at us, Jack. Hey, look out, Jack. You're getting down awful close to the water. We're all right, Billy. Set the ship down right next to the Vita. Careful, Jack. You're going to come right down smack on the Vita. You haven't got much faith in me, have you, Billy? Yeah, we're all clear now. Slide the car back, Billy, and hop on. I'll make the plane fast. Okay, Jack. Now go out and tell Uncle Jim.
Well, Billy, you're back rather soon. They got good news for us?
Oh, we've got lots of news, Uncle Jim, and it's all bad.
Oh, Billy, what happened? Did you see Whisper?
We saw him all right just around the bend. Being captured by Geppetto and Lazaro, Uncle Jim. They're taking him into the village right now.
Is that right, Billy? That is bad news. We've got to rescue him somehow. Where's Malua?
He went to talk to his man who just came back from the village, Uncle Jim. Oh, here he is. He's coming now.
We'll find out what Malua's man discovered in the village. Malua, Geppetto's captured Whisper and he's taking him to the village.
Oh, Malu, isn't there some way we can save him?
Maybe we save him, Betty. My man just come back. He say that all village very much afraid of Uncle Jim. He say everybody still talk about ring that shiny night.
So, they're still afraid of the dragon's eye ring, eh? And I suppose they were all afraid of the auto gyro, weren't they, Billy?
Oh, yeah, Uncle Jim. They ran like mad. They thought that we were going to swoop down and fly away with one of them.
That gives me an idea, Billy. We're going into that village right away. Jack will take the dragon's eye ring with him. And Betty and I will be hovering overhead in the auto gyro. If Malua can't make them give up Whisper with all that magic, I miss my guess.
Say, it looks as though there's going to be a real magician show put on in the village, doesn't it? But it won't fool Geppetto. Do you suppose that he and Lazaro can convince the village Dato that they have nothing to fear from the ring that shines in the night or the eagle that flaps its wings? You'll certainly want to be there when the show comes off, so listen in, all of you, at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode in the adventure of the missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, what do you say to having a real champion athlete's breakfast tomorrow morning? That means lots of Wheaties, a big bowl full of those good whole wheat flakes with plenty of milk or cream and a glass of fruit juice. The fellow who named that dish a breakfast of champions really knew how to call them. You just try it and see.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the brand.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the piper Hudson High, boys.
Jack Armstrong! Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong! Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the piper Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Say, you've heard of some mighty strange and mysterious things happening at midnight. But can you imagine a stranger happening than this? It's 12 o'clock. The whole town is sleeping. Let's suppose we can walk into one of those dark houses, up the stairs, and into a room where Jim Griffin is sound asleep. There's something very unusual going on in Jim's room. Listen.
Hey, you! Wake up! You think I
Jack, you wait around here all night? I got work to do.
What's that? Who's poking me?
I am, doggone it. Wake up, will you?
Holy smoke, am I seeing things? The little man sitting on the bedpost. Who are you?
Me? Well, I'm a vitamin. Vitamin B1, they call me.
Go on, a vitamin is something you eat. It's a kind of nourishment.
Sure. I know I'm nourishing. I'm nourishing as the dickens. And listen, buddy, the reason I'm here is that you're not getting enough of me in the food you eat.
Oh, heck, I must be dreaming. Vitamins can't talk.
I can when I feel like it. Of course, I'm most always too busy to talk. Got a lot of work to do, helping to make good appetites, helping fellas and girls to grow, and helping to keep their nervous systems working right. I'm absolutely a...
Vitamin B1, huh? Where do you live?
One place you find me is in wheat. There's a lot of me in a grain of wheat.
But I eat lots of food made from wheat.
Aha! But that's the catch to it. You see, by the time they take wheat and grind it, or cook it to make it good to eat, I may not be there any longer. If you really want to get all the vitamin B1 that's naturally present in wheat, you'd better eat Wheaties.
Wheaties? Say, I've heard about Wheaties. They're pretty good then, huh?
Good. I'll say they are. They taste absolutely swell. And along with other kinds of valuable nourishment, Wheaties give you all the vitamin B1 of natural wheat. You'd better start eating Wheaties tomorrow morning.
You know, fellas and girls, I wish vitamin B1 could talk to you like that. It's so very important, so necessary in a good diet for athletes and everybody else who wants to get a champion start for the day. Remember this, will you? Those good Wheaties flakes are extra nourishing. They give you lots of vitamin B1. I hope you have Wheaties for breakfast every single morning. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Do you hear Uncle Jim's windmill airplane, the autogyro, as it circles over the Moro village of Colita in Mindanao? Uncle Jim and Betty are in the autogyro, and the odd-looking plane has been hovering over the village like a gigantic hawk ready to pounce. Their friend, the Beachcomber Whisperer, is a prisoner in that village, where he's been taken by the notorious adventurer Dr. Shapato and his Lieutenant Lazaro. But Jack Armstrong and Billy and Nellie are about to attempt a daring rescue. Although the village Moros are hostile, Jack has, with him, the luminous dragon's eye ring, which the Moros believe possesses magic from Allah. He's going into the village with this ring and demand the release of the Beachcomber. While the attention of the Moros has been diverted by the autogyro, Jack and the others have approached to the very outskirts of the village. Now they are waiting for the autogyro to alight on the edge of the river so they may get final instructions from Uncle Jim. Listen.
The autogyro's coming down, Billy. She's floating down like a parachute. And the Moros are coming out of hiding now, Jack. Look at them come out of their nipa shacks. Boy, oh boy, that autogyro threw a scare into them, didn't it, Malua?
They very afraid of big eagle that flap wing, Billy. They think him got magic from Allah, like a ring that shine at night.
Gee, didn't Uncle Jim set her down gently? There, he's opened the cowling. Did you see anything of Whisper, Uncle Jim?
I certainly did, Jack. They were just taking him into a large nipa shack when I flew over the village.
And what about Shapato and Lazaro, Uncle Jim? Did you see them?
They were all I did see after I hovered over the village for a moment, Billy. The Moros thought I was going to pounce down and swoop off with some of them, and they took to their shacks.
Shall we go into the village now, Uncle Jim?
Now's the time, Jack. The Moros are pretty well frightened, and I think that Dotto will give up Whisper if you put on a big bluff.
But what about Shapato and Lazaro, Uncle Jim? They'll try to tell the Dotto that we haven't any real magic. They may make all sorts of trouble.
They'll certainly try to make trouble, Billy. But you and Jack and Malua have got enough to convince the Dotto that you're more powerful than Shapato. You've got the dragon's eye ring, which the Dotto's afraid of. And Betty and I will be circling overhead in the autogyro.
They very afraid of eagle that flap wing, Uncle Jim.
I know they are, Malua. Now, Jack, listen carefully. We've got to exploit their fear of the autogyro. You've got to make them believe that if they don't release Whisper, the eagle will swoop down and carry off the Dotto.
I'll do my best, Uncle Jim.
Betty and I'll keep an eye on you, Jack. Whenever you hold your arm straight up, I'll make the autogyro come straight down just like a hawk. When you lower your arm, I'll shoot up in the air again. Have you got that straight?
You bet I have, Uncle Jim. And I'll make the Dotto believe that the dragon's eye ring is doing it all, too.
All right, Jack. Betty and I'll take off now. We'll fly up the river a little way and give you time to get to the Dotto before we circle overhead. Watch yourself, Betty. I'm going to close the cowling.
We'll get started right away, Uncle Jim. Goodbye, Betty. We'll get Whisper back or else. Hey, make certain you've got that ring with you. We're sure going to need it. Here, I'll slip it on my finger, Billy. There's too much daylight for it to shine, but the dado will recognize it. Come on. Look at the Moros, Jack. They're watching the auto gyro take off. They don't know whether to run back into their shacks or not. They'll see us in just a minute, Billy. Say, Manuel, where'll we find the dado in the village?
You no worry, Jack. We get in village, Dato find us plenty quick.
I bet you Pato and Lazaro will find us plenty quick, too. Where are we heading for, Jack? Well, there's a sort of main street that comes down to the river, Billy. See? Just beyond that first row of Nipa shacks. We'll get to that street and walk up on it. Holy smoke, Jack. The Moros see us. They're pointing at us. They're giving the alarm to the whole village. That's fine, Billy. That'll get the dado out to see what all the excitement's about.
Me think he out now, Jack. He out see eagle that flap wing. We see him soon.
I hope we can see Whisper soon. Say, Jack, do you suppose that before they captured Whisper, he found out what tribe was holding Professor Loring? I hope so, Billy. It certainly would be a help. Look at the Moros. They're not coming to meet us. They're all crowded together in front of that large shack.
That was shock, Billy. Me think that Whisper somewhere in there.
And that's where we're going, Billy, right in front of it. Look, isn't that Chapato I see at the edge of the crowd? It is Chapato, Jack, and there's Lazaro with him and that Pandita from Cotabongo. But I don't see anyone that looks like the Dado. Do you, Manuel?
You don't see him now, Jack, but he comes soon.
Look, Manuel, there's a large Moro coming out of that shack. He's got a special turban on his head. Is he the Dado?
You're right, Jack. Him Dato. Him same Dato we see for when him try burn Cotabongo.
Golly, I bet you he still hates us for saving Cotabongo.
You no be scared, Billy. We got a ring that shine a night. Ring save us.
I wish I had as much faith in that ring as you have, Manuel. But I'll try not to look scared. That's funny, Billy. All the Moros have stopped talking. They're just waiting for us.
They let Dato make talk, Jack.
You'll have to do the talking for us, Manuel. You'll have to act as interpreter.
That's right, Jack. Me tell Dato what you say, me tell you what Dato say.
I don't like the looks of that Dato one bit, Jack. Pandita from Cotabongo was telling him something. That's all right, Billy. We'll tell him something ourselves. Keep your chin up now. We're getting pretty close to them. Look at Chapato. He's going to have something to say, too.
Well, Jack Armstrong, you have your nerve coming into this village. Suppose you come after the beachcomber.
I'll tell the Dato why I'm here, Chapato.
Do you think he'll listen to you? Why, when I give the word, he'll put you and Billy Fairfield in that shack with the beachcomber. And I rather think he'll be glad to get his hands on Malua, too.
We'll see about that, Chapato. All right, Malua, do your stuff. Tell the Dato that we demand the release of Whisper.
Me tell him, Jack.
Subango, Nekusenegaan Politikasan, Sola Canalgo Mirasega.
Orienta, I'm Sagane Merita Ryutando. Sara.
What did he say, Malua?
He say he no do, Jack.
Oh, stubborn catfish, Malua. Doesn't he see the ring on Jack's finger? Doesn't he know that it's the magic dragon's eye ring?
He see ring, Billy. But he say him white friend have magic, too. He say they got more magic than ring.
Ah, so that's what Chapato's been telling him. What are we going to do now, Jack? I wish Uncle Jim would hurry and get here. I hear the auto gyro now, Billy. It'll be here in a moment. Manuel, tell the Dato that I say Chapato has no magic at all. Tell him that I'm very angry. Tell him that if he doesn't release my friend at once, I'll summon the eagle that flaps its wings. Tell him that the eagle will carry him off into the mountains.
Me tell him, Jack.
Sarang, Tuesta Capranta, Rega Sole Miranto, Encole ne Morukutetia, Shipato ne Segakulita.
Yeah, look at the Dato, Jack. He looks plenty worried now. He's going into a huddle with Chapato's Pandita. That's a break for us, Billy. He's not sure of himself. He isn't sure that Chapato's magic is greater than ours. Jack, Uncle Jim is dropping down now. Shh, Billy. The Dato has something to say.
Oirekam, Nemagan Pulita Satova, Engorina Segaboram.
What did he say, Manuel?
He say he throw Shipato magic, Jack. He say Shipato magic keep Big Eagle way.
All right, Manuel. Tell him to look up in the sky. Tell him that I'm very angry and that the big eagle is dropping down to get it.
Sarang, Duella Matoba Seva.
He's the auto gyro, Jack. You all see him. Oh, look, some of them are running right back into their shack. I think the Dato'd like to run and hide too, Billy, but his pride won't let it. Look at him. He's looking to see what Chapato will do.
What are you up to, Jack Armstrong? You think your Uncle Jim can fight this with that auto gyro of his?
He seems to be doing a pretty good job of it, Chapato. Look at these Moros.
These Moros, bah. The Dato isn't afraid. My Pandita's telling the Dato now that the auto gyro's nothing to be afraid of. Your game will be up when the Dato finds out the eagle can't harm him.
Jack, Uncle Jim is almost directly overhead now. He's watching for your signal. Manuel, tell the Dato that I have no more patience. Tell him that when I stretch the dragon's eye ring to the sky, the eagle will swoop down upon it.
Me tell him, Jack.
Sarang, Elane Polanta Angochila, Sege Moralita Paca.
big eagle not come down anymore. He say he get you friend.
All right, now you tell him to get my friend right away. I'll pull off the eagle.
Sarang.
Billy, give it up to Jim. Boy, oh boy, if the Dado had waited an instant longer, Uncle Jim would have had him fly away, Jack. Well, I could have almost jumped up and touched the shit. That was too close for comfort. Look, Billy, the Dado's gone into the shack to get Whisper. Well, Geppetto, I guess your magic wasn't so hot.
Why,
Easy there, Geppetto. Remember, you've let the Dado down pretty badly. If I give the word to him, he'll put you there in Whisper's place. And say, that's not a bad idea. Tell you what, will the Dado do what I say now?
That's right, Jack. He do anything you say.
Good. When he comes out with Whisper, I want you to tell him that I'm still angry at him. Tell him that unless he obeys me, the eagle will come back. Tell him I don't want Geppetto and Lazaro to go up the river for at least 2 weeks. Will he make them stay here?
We think so, Jack. We go tell him now. He not let Geppetto go up river for a long time.
Look, Jack, there's Whisper. Oh, look at him grin. White, as cocky as ever. They didn't hurt him, Billy. We'll take him back to our camp and see what he found out about Professor Loring. Come on, let's get Whisper.
Boy, that was nip and tuck for a while, wasn't it? But now that they've rescued the beachcomber Whisper, do you suppose he has any information about Professor Loring? For it won't be long now before Jack Armstrong and Uncle Jim and the others will be in the land of mystery, the wild interior of Mindanao. And you'll certainly want to be with them because there's an exciting and dangerous time ahead. So listen in, all of you, at the same time tomorrow to another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, get yourself a package of Wheaties right away. The big orange and blue package with the 2 famous General Mills trademarks, Wheaties and Breakfast of Champions. Yes, sir, you'll be having a genuine champion athlete's breakfast when you help yourself to a big bowl full of Wheaties with lots of milk and fruit. Once you taste it, I know you're going to be a regular Wheaties fan.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the brand.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Say, where'd you put that baseball bat of yours and your favorite glove and all the rest of the baseball equipment you stored away for the winter? Well, you better start getting it in shape because the baseball season will be opening a lot sooner than you think. Yes, sir. Right now, the big league training camps down south are running full blast, and your favorite stars, Jimmy Fox and Bob Feller and Bucky Wallers and all the rest, are working out, getting in top condition for another big year of championship baseball. That sort of starts you thinking, doesn't it? Makes you wonder just what you can do to get in trim for playing games this spring. The answer's easy. Just get in training. Get in training right now, like these famous baseball stars are doing, so that you'll be in better condition to do your stuff when the season starts. Of course, you know the special set of training rules that's recommended for young athletes who want to play better baseball. It's the well-known system of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Let's run over Jack Armstrong's training rules, shall we? Just so that we can be sure we have them down pat. First, get plenty of fresh air, sleep, and exercise. Second, use lots of soap and water every day to help steer clear of dirt and germs. Third, but say, do I need to remind you what that third training rule is? Hundreds of your favorite athletes have made it a part of their own training programs. Thousands of fellas and girls follow it every day. Yes, sir, it's the rule that says to eat a breakfast of champions every morning. Eat a big bowl full of Wheaties, those super delicious flakes of real whole wheat with lots of milk and fruit. Take my word for it. That keen-tasting Breakfast of Champions can put a brand new wallop in the old training diet. It's got flavor to it, The rich, toasted flavor of those crunchy Wheaties flakes. Why, I wouldn't blame you a bit if you want 2 or 3 helpings of Wheaties for breakfast. That's how good Wheaties taste. And talk about nourishment. Say, Wheaties are practically made to order for athletes who want a champion supply of bodybuilding nourishment to help them get up and go. Wheaties are extra nourishing, jam-packed with all of the well-known essential food values of the natural whole wheat grain. Get some Wheaties right away, will you? You're going to like them, I know. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Listen to the Moro boatmen as they paddle their heavily loaded Vinta against the swift rapids of the narrow river. It's tough going, because here, the river boils out of the narrow gorge that cuts through the mountain range from the mysterious country of the Mandayas, the pagan tribe that is keeping Professor Loring a captive. Yes, the Beachcomber Whisperer actually discovered that the Mandayas are holding Professor Loring. And for long, hot days, Jack Armstrong and Uncle Jim and the others have been traveling up the river in their Vinta, leaving the flat jungle country and climbing ever upward into the mountainous region of Mindanao, which few white men have ever seen. Right now, while Uncle Jim and Betty are overtaking the Vinta in their windmill plane, the autogyro, Malua's urging his boatmen to more powerful strokes. Jack and Billy and the mysterious Beachcomber Whisperer are sitting in the middle of the Vinta, wondering if the angry river has finally stopped their progress. And everyone is keeping a sharp lookout for signs of the Mandayas, for they are just entering the country of the hostile pagans. Listen.
Suffering catfish, Jack. Look at this river rush past us. Why, we're not making any headway at all.
We've got to get through this gorge some way, Billy. We can't dump our equipment and carry it. Both banks are so steep, there's no room to walk at the edge of the river.
Oh, I'll say there's not. Why, there's just a vertical cliff on each side of us.
Manuel's Moros are doing their best. We've only got a few hundred yards more to go, and then we'll be past these rapids and into quiet water.
Yeah, and into the land of the Mandayas, too. I'll bet you that they're watching us this very moment.
Let them watch, Billy. They'll see a lot of us before we rescue Professor Loring, if Whisper has the right dope.
My dear Jack, my information came from the best possible source. From those delightful moral messengers of Sultan Law. They've been here.
Well, that proves that someone could come into this country and live to tell the tale. Did those Moros tell you anything about the Mandayas, Whisper?
Oh, yes, Billy, quite a bit. Starving people, these Mandayas. A bit on the cannibalistic side. Know what I mean?
We know what you mean, Whisper. But I'm afraid Billy and I'd make a pretty tough side dish for any cannibal.
Jumping Jupiter, Whisper. Do you mean...
Wait a minute. There's something we can really get excited about.
Well, what is it, Jack? What do you see?
Look up at the top of the right-hand cliff, Billy, near that lone tree that grows out of the rock. Isn't that a man?
I don't see... Oh, yes, I do. But I'm not sure that's a man, Jack. It isn't moving.
It was moving when I saw it, Billy. At least I think it was. What do you think, Whisper?
Such a nuisance to think, Jack. But I know. The valley thing is moving.
Oh, you're right, Whisper. It's moving back. It must be a man. Gosh, Willikins. Now he's completely disappeared.
He's going back into the hills, Billy. I'd bet $1 million he's gone back to warn the tribe.
Gosh, so all hemlock, and this gorge would be a dandy place for them to trap us, too. Why, they could roll stones off the top of the cliffs and just about sink our Vita.
Yes, we've got to get the Vita through this gorge in a hurry, Billy. And right now, we're hardly moving at all. Let's get out and push.
But it looks too deep, Jack.
It can't be very deep, Billy, or the current wouldn't be so swift. Say, I wish Uncle Jim and Betty would hurry up and come.
Well, what good could they do, Jack?
Well, they could always fly above the cliff and frighten off any of the natives. I mean, if any of the natives started to throw large stones at us.
Excellent, Jack, most excellent. What in the world? We're actually moving backward now. Shall we jolly well go over the side and do our tuppence worth?
I guess we'd better try it, Whisper. We've got to get through this gorge somehow. Manuel, we're going to hop out and push.
Come on, Jack. I'll be the first one over.
No, you won't, Billy. I am over.
Whisper beat us both over. Say, it's only a couple of feet deep. But, boy, is it swift.
I say, Billy, old top, are you going to push the Vita or let the Vita pull you?
Yeah, I guess at that I'm not much help just holding on to the Vita this way. I had to get used to the swift current, Whisper. There, I'm pushing now, though.
Yeah, boy, Billy.
Yep. Come on now.
All together. Push.
We're not making much headway, Jack. This rate, we'll be all day getting through this gorge.
Yeah, by that time we'll have a whole tribe of those pagans on our necks, Billy.
Keep on trying. Come on. Hard now. I'm doing my darndest. But the Vita's just holding her own. Why don't our boatmen get out and push, too?
They can do more good paddling.
Why don't we get the Vita close into the cliff?
The current's just as swift over there, Billy.
Suffering catfish will never get through this way.
I say, Jack, oh boy, we really aren't doing much good. Let's stop a minute and talk this valley thing over.
Okay, Whisper. Last a minute, Billy. We're going to have to try something else. Yeah, sure. Jiminy, I wish we had a tugboat. Say, Billy, that gives me an idea. I wonder if it would work. Well, what's eating you, Jack? Let me in on your brainstorm. I was just thinking, Billy. Say, there's Uncle Jim coming now. He's flying low. Maybe it will work. Jumping Jiminy gee whiz, Jack. You aren't going to use the auto gyro as a tugboat. Why not, Billy? We can run a light cable from the Vita to the plane, and it can taxi on the water in front of us and pull us. But we'll rip the fuselage to pieces, Jack. Well, there must be some way to make it work, Billy. Look up there on top of the cliff. Holy smoke, there are a couple of pagans up there now. There are more than that. Look at them. They're pointing to it. They're talking it over. We would be right in the middle of a gorge at a time like this. It could be worse, Billy. There's not very much they can do to us as long as they stay up there. Look, here comes Uncle Jim now. He's about to come down in the gorge. Oh, I'm glad there are no rocks in this river, Jack. He'd rip open his pontoons if there were. He'll be safe enough, Billy. As long as he can keep his engine revving, he can control her. There, he's almost down. He is down. He's taxiing up to us. He'll be alongside in a second, and those pagan Mandayas will be doing something pretty soon, too, Jack. I can just feel it in my bones. Here's Uncle Jim, Billy. He's opening the counter. Hello, Jack. What's the trouble? Can't you get the Vita past the rapids? It's all we can do to hold our own, Uncle Jim. Hi, Betty.
Hello, Jack. Hello, Billy and Whisper. Why, it seems as though three strong people like you could push the Vita up the stream with all those morals paddling.
I just wish that you'd step overboard and kind of try it, Betty. This is some current here.
I'll take the auto gyro below the gorge, Jack, and come back and help you push. But it's going to be slow business.
It's going to be too slow, Uncle Jim. Look up on top of the cliff. There are a bunch of Mandayas there watching us. And I know that they're cooking up something, Uncle Jim.
Oh, Billy, do you really think they're going to do something?
Yeah, you're darn tootin' they are, Betty. It's just a question of when.
So we finally run into the pagans who are holding Professor Loring, eh, Jack? We certainly picked a fine place to meet them.
We couldn't have picked a worse place, Uncle Jim. That's why we've got to get through this gorge before they decide what to do. I was thinking, do you suppose we could run a line from the auto gyro to the Vita? And you could taxi up the gorge and pull us behind you.
That's quite a large order, Jack. I'm afraid we'd pull the tail of the fuselage loose. But we've got to do something. What do you say, Whisper?
Well, I think, old chap, that it can be done. I've done it.
You've actually done it, Whisper? In a small plane like this?
Oh, no. I once towed a lifeboat in a small seaplane for half a day.
Holy smoke, Whisper. Is there anything you haven't done before you became a beachcomber? What about the fuselage, Whisper? Will it stand the strain?
I fancy not, Jack. But I can run the line from the engine packet to the Vita. That will take the strain off the fuselage.
Yes, that may work, Whisper. Betty, hand me that line anchor cable under your seat. I'll make it fast to the bracket.
All right, Uncle Jim. Look, but you'll have to move over a little.
I say, old chap, if you like, I'll get in the valley ship and do the towing. It's frightfully simple and all that, but it helps if you've done it before.
That's fine, Whisper. As soon as I get the cable made fast, Betty and I'll get in the Vita, and we'll turn the ship over to you.
Here's the cable, Uncle Jim. This for such a heavy load.
This is airplane cable, Betty, and it'll stand a terrific strain. Here, I'll make it fast to this engine bracket.
Oh, you'd better hurry, Uncle Jim. Those Mandayas on top of the cliff are acting pretty queer. Why, they've got something up their sleeve.
But what can they do way up there?
Well, for one thing, they can roll big stones down that cliff, Betty.
But can't we get to the other side of the gorge, Jack?
Not a chance. Look at the rapids welling up among those rocks. We couldn't float the Vita, and we couldn't walk.
Oh, I see now. So we have to pass through the gorge almost directly under the Mandayas. Oh, hurry, Uncle Jim.
The cable's made fast, Betty. Now you get out of the cockpit and into the Vita. You'll have to get wet to do it.
Oh, I don't mind getting wet. Oh, look out, Jack. I'm jumping down.
All right, now climb into the Vita, Betty. Right in the middle. Don't get in the way of the boatman. They have to paddle like anything to keep it from being carried downstream.
You climb into the ship now, Whisper. I'll keep the controls until you get in. You've got to keep the engine turning over pretty fast.
Right on. Steady there, Billy. I'll swing into the cockpit from here.
Jack, look at Whisper. Rolled into the cockpit. I bet he's climbed into a good many airplanes in his day, Billy. I've a hunch he was once a freelance pilot in the Spanish Revolution. Oh, he certainly knows his place, Jack. Oh, look out. Uncle Jim is climbing out now.
Good. I'm going to let Whisper handle the ship by himself, Jack. Then I can help push the Vita and take some of the strain off the ship. Billy, take this cable up to Malua and tell him to make it fast to the bow of the Vita.
Okay, Uncle Jim. I'll tell him to make it good and fast. Say, Uncle Jim, before we try to pull the Vita through the gorge, why don't we fly the ship up to the top of the cliff and frighten the Mandayas away?
I thought of that, Jack, but I don't want to risk making enemies of them before we have to. They don't know that we have come here to rescue Professor Loring. So until they commit an act of hostility, it'll pay us to act friendly.
I guess you're right, Uncle Jim. It's going to be hard enough to rescue Professor Loring as it is. But unless I miss my guess, those Mandayas are going to do something pretty unfriendly very soon.
We'll have to take a chance on that. Here comes Billy. And Malua's making that cable fast now. There, he's all set. All right, Whisper. Taxi ahead of us and see what you can do. Jack and Billy and I will stay in the river and push.
Well, aren't we going to get into the beat, Uncle Jim?
Not right now, Billy. The Rangers know to be the fastest and we can walk. We'll hop in quickly. There, you have that cable taut in a second.
I'm glad it's a long cable. Look how the wash from the prop throws back the water toward it.
Watch it now. Cable's getting taut. Lay hold and push.
Oh, she's moving, Jack. The beat is moving through the water. She's pushing, Billy. We're not moving very fast yet. Beat through the scoop. Boy, look at this beat. It's picking up speed. Hey, I can hardly keep up with her.
I'm in, you two. We'll all get in quick.
He's going too fast for me, Jack.
Hey, that's Billy. I'll lend you a hand as soon as I'm in.
There. Hold on now. I'll put you in. Yeah, boy. Now you're all right. Oh, I was afraid you'd go off and leave me. Hey, look. Look up on top of the cliff, Jack. Do you see what I see?
Say, what's going on top of the cliff? Billy certainly saw something that upset him. You can bet your boots that those wild mandayas are up to something. So you'll certainly want to be on hand next Monday because there's going to be plenty of excitement in that gorge in the middle of Mindanao. So listen in at that same time, all of you, for an especially thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, be sure to ask Mother to put Wheaties, W-H-E-A-T-I-E-S, at the top of her weekend shopping list. Those crunchy Wheaties flakes will taste mighty good for breakfast tomorrow and Sunday. Yes, and I'll bet you'll be wanting more Wheaties for a quick lunch or an afternoon snack between times. You'd better ask for 2 or 3 packages of Wheaties.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of a brand.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye till Monday for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong! Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Greetings, Mr. Mac.
Hello, Larry. What have you got in that little old bottle?
Oh, that's my genie.
Genie?
Why, sure. I keep him in this bottle. He knows everything and can do anything. When I want to ask him something or have him do anything, I just take out the cork out of the bottle and out he pops. I saw one in the movies, and I figured that whatever they can do in Hollywood, I could maybe do right here. Like to meet him?
Well, I don't know, Larry.
Oh, here. I'll just take out the cork.
Hello, Master. What'll be today, huh?
Genie, old boy, meet Mr. McCormick.
How old is Mr. McCormick?
He knows everything, Mr. McCormick. Ask him a question.
Okay. Mr. Genie, I'd like to have you answer a couple of questions.
Sure. Just ask him and I'll answer them. Glad to do it for any friend of Larry's.
Okay. When's the best time for an athlete to train?
That's a serious question, Mr. McCormick, and here's a serious answer. An athlete ought to train the year round. Yes, sir. 365 days a year.
Okay. Now tell me one good training rule.
Get plenty of fresh air, sleep, and exercise.
Now tell us another good training rule, Mr. Genie.
Glad to, Master. Use a lot of soap and water because keeping clean is mighty important to an athlete's condition.
What did I tell you, Mr. McCormick? He knows everything.
But, Master, there's another mighty important Jack Armstrong training rule.
What's that, Mr. Genie?
Eat a breakfast of champions every morning. Yes, Master. There is another breakfast dish I know of that tastes quite as good as Wheaties, milk, and fruit.
And that championship combination gives you a whale of a lot of mighty important nourishment, too, Mr. Genie.
Master, a breakfast of champions gives you all the well-known essential nourishment of choice whole wheat. The kind of nourishment an athlete needs to help him make a real champion.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Genie, I found that plenty of the fellas and girls are going for a breakfast of champions because it's got such a doggone good flavor. Why, say, that flavor is just as different from other breakfast dishes as night is from day.
And that means that when you sit down to a breakfast of champions, you're getting a breakfast dish that gives you plenty of super special flavor, plus a lot of good bodybuilding nourishment. That's why I advise every fellow and girl who has natural ability in sports to start following Jack Armstrong's training rules right away. And say, the best way to start is by asking Mother to serve you Wheaties, milk, and fruit tomorrow morning. Ask her right now, won't you? And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Exciting drama is unfolding in a narrow gorge in the country of the pagan Mandias and Mindanao. Malleus Moros have tried to paddle his heavy Vinta against the raging current, but in vain. And so Uncle Jim's autogyro, taxing on the surface of the swift stream 100 feet ahead, is towing the Vinta. The mysterious beachcomber Whisper is in the autogyro, and Jack Armstrong and Billy, Betty, and Uncle Jim are back in the Vinta. But there is danger above them as well as on the river, for they were discovered by a group of Mandias on top of the vertical cliff that rises above the gorge, and now, as the Vinta breasts the swirling current, Billy suddenly sees...
Look, Jack. Look at those Mandias up on the cliff. I'm watching them, Billy. They're up to something.
Oh, Jack, what are they going to do?
I'm not sure, Betty, but I think they're going to hurl down rocks on top of us as soon as we get directly under them.
Oh, Uncle Jim, is there anything we can do?
There is, Betty, and we're doing it just as fast as we can. We're getting out of this narrow gorge.
But suffering catfish, Uncle Jim. They'll have a chance to drop down plenty of stones on us before Whisper gets us out of this gorge.
I know it, Billy, and Whisper knows it. He's keeping the autogyro as far away from the cliff as he can.
But can't we get all the way over on the other side of the gorge?
It's too shallow, Betty. Look at all those rocks sticking out of the river. The autogyro would rip a pontoon if we got over any farther. Look at all our Moro boatmen, Uncle Jim. They're looking at us to see what we're going to do.
There's nothing else we can do, Billy, except go as fast as we can. And Whisper has the engine wide open now. There's a heavy load in this Vinta.
Oh, Jack, look up on top of the cliff. They're getting ready to drop something over.
It's a big rock, Betty. They're going to try to push it over so it hits the autogyro. Gosh, all hemlock, if they hit our airplane, we will be in a bad way.
Oh, here it comes.
It's going to be awfully close. It missed the plane. The rock missed Whisper. It didn't miss him much, Billy. He was just a little too far away from the back of the cliff.
I don't think they're going to be able to hit us with any of those boulders they push over. They can't throw them out far enough.
Oh, here comes another one.
Now, that's a little bit smaller, Betty. I'm afraid to look. Boy, that came close. But a miss is as good as a mile.
They'll have to work fast if they want another chance at Whisper. You'll be well past them in just a few seconds.
But they're going to have one more try at him, Uncle Jim. They're pushing a large rock over now.
They really pushed that one off the cliff. Oh, it looks bad. Wow, that was bad. It didn't miss the plane by more than a foot or two.
Well, that's all they can do to hurt Whisper in the autogyro.
No, it's not, Uncle Jim. They're throwing smaller stones at him. Look at them splash around it.
Oh, if one of them should ever hit him.
It'd have to be a direct hit on Whisper to do much harm, Betty. They might punch a hole or two through the fuselage, but they aren't apt to do much damage.
It's a good thing the autogyro hasn't any wings. A rock through a wing might break a strut.
Uncle Jim, we're almost directly under the Mandias now. They're getting ready to throw stones down on us.
Betty, crawl under the seat. There's just room for one person there, and it may save you from being hit.
Oh, Uncle Jim, I don't want to be the only person to be protected.
Do as I say, Betty. You can't do us a bit of good by getting hit yourself. Quick now, crawl under the seat.
All right, Uncle Jim, but it makes me seem like an awful coward.
Jumping Jiminy, Betty. Don't worry about that. If there were room for me, I'd be there, too. Me too, Betty. Look, here's Malleus coming back from the bow.
Uncle Jim, they throw a rock on us soon. What to do, huh?
I hope they won't hit us, Malleus. They didn't hit Whisper.
They throw big stone at Whisper. Too big. They know better now. They throw small stone at us. Maybe they hit, they kill us.
But suffering catfish, Malleus, what can we do about it?
He'll show you, Billy. Ochita, en maya de coleta and sang, sarango!
Well, I'll be... Look, Uncle Jim, we've forgotten all about the Moro shields they keep under their seats. They're getting them out now. Jumping Jupiter, Jack, they're just the thing. Why, they're long and narrow, and we can hold them right up over our heads.
I'm afraid they'd crush him, too, if a fair-sized stone hit one of them, Billy.
No, Uncle Jim, you're wrong. You hold overhead. You hold tight overhead. Stone hit shield, you say. Stone will break shield.
But we don't want to take a shield away from any of your Moros, Malleus.
That's all right, Jack. You watch my man, see? 2 men get under one shield. Here, you, me, get under this shield. Me hold shield. Uncle Jim, here, one more shield. You, Billy, get on us. You hold tight. Betty, she all right on her seat.
All right, Malleus. Here you are, Billy. You crowd close to me. I'll hold the shield up. It may do some good.
It do plenty good, Uncle Jim. You get close to me, Jack. We look up at cliff now. When they throw stone, we duck under shield quick.
Hey, you can trust me to get under that shield plenty quick, Malleus. We're almost within range now. Look out, here comes the first volley. It is a volley, too. But they're all small stones.
Get under this shield quick, Billy.
Look at them splash around it. Like some of those stones are as big as coconuts. Why, they'd kill a man if they hit him.
But I didn't hear any of them hit the boat, Jack. Did they hit any of the shields?
Now, they missed us all completely, Betty. But they'll get the range next time. Look out, here comes the next volley.
Get under here, Billy. Some of those stones are going to hit.
Oh, suffering catfish. A couple of those stones got the boat.
Oh, Jack, did they knock a hole in the bottom of the Veda?
Not in the bottom of this Veda, Betty. Now, this Veda shoot out of a tree trunk. It's got a solid keel for a bottom.
I'd hate to think what one of those larger stones would do if it landed on top of a shield, Jack. They must have the force of a cannon.
Yeah. Look out. Here comes some more.
You come close, Jack. Maybe a stone hit us, huh?
Stay under your shields now. They're not throwing their stones in volleys. They're throwing them one at a time as fast as they can pick them up off the cliff.
Oh, I can't see them, but I hear them landing all around.
And some of them are landing into the boat, too, Betty. Uh-oh. There's a Moro knocked off his seat. Boy, look at him get up and scramble back into that shield again.
Oh, what happened? What happened to you, Jack?
Search me, Betty, but here I am knocked off my seat and Mallew was with me.
Big stone hit shield, Jack. We get back on our shield quick.
I'm under it already, Mallew.
Are you hurt, Jack?
Not a bit, Uncle Jim. If anyone's hurt, it's Mallew.
We no hurt, Jack. Shield save us, huh?
I'll say it saved us. Look, Uncle Jim. The stones are all falling behind us now.
We're getting out of range, Jack. Yeah, we are out of range. Well, I think they've done their worst now.
Me not think so, Uncle Jim. Look.
Jumping Jiminy gee whiz, what are they up to now? Why, somebody has built a fire on top of the cliff. What are they up to now, Mallew?
Me think they still try to get us, Jack.
But what's the fire for, Mallew?
They shoot at us with fire arrow, Betty. Sarang, and Colenta, le Padre Sagamea.
Great tails and blue fishes. What's going on now, Uncle Jim?
They're going to shoot at us with flaming arrows.
Flaming arrows?
I think so. Look at Manuel's Moros. They're putting up a parapet of shields around the Vita and over our heads.
We all get close together now, Uncle Jim. My men put shield up.
Here, Betty. You and Billy crowd together with me and Uncle Jim. That's the way. Give the Moros more room. They're putting up a wall of shields between us and the Mandaya. Great guns. They're starting to shoot at us already. Look at that flaming arrow disappear to the river.
Oh, there's another one. And another.
They're all around us now. I hope these shields are good and tough.
These shields are tough enough to withstand an arrow, Jack, but make sure that you're behind the shield. Don't expose even an arm.
They're getting the range now. They're hitting the Vita.
Oh, there's an arrow right beside me. It's on fire.
Stay still, Betty. I'll beat it out with my hands. Don't move.
Oh, thanks, Jack. I was a little frightened for a moment.
Suffering catfish. There's a flaming arrow right next to a gasoline can, Uncle Jim. We've got to put it out. You stay here, Billy. I'll run forward and throw it overboard.
No, Jack. Meet my shield. Lead go.
Oh, he'll get hit by the arrow himself.
He's mostly protected by that shield, Betty, but a lucky shot may wing him in the leg.
Holy smoke! There's an arrow right through his shield. It's just barely through, Billy. Boy, it's a lucky thing he had that shield with him.
And it's a lucky thing you didn't go forward to throw the flaming arrow overboard, Jack.
I'll say it is. There, he's got the arrow. He's throwing it overboard. Hey, what's that I smell?
The carabao hide of Manuel's shield, Billy. That arrow's burning it.
He's pulling it out now. He's thrown it overboard. Hurry, Manuel. Oh, why doesn't he come back?
He's going to stay up there, Betty. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's trying to protect the gasoline can. But, gee whillikins, Jack, he can't protect the gasoline cans and himself. He's putting some equipment on top of the cans, Billy, so they can't get pierced by a flaming arrow. Then we would have an explosion.
Oh, I wish he'd hurry up. I don't like to have him there even with his shield.
Look, his shield has caught another arrow. He'll be back in a minute. There, he's got the gasoline cans covered. Hey, Uncle Jim, it's a lucky thing for us those Mandayas didn't get that fire built behind the pepper whisper with those flaming arrows.
It certainly is, Jack. I'd hate to think what a flaming arrow might do to the outer gyro.
Why, here comes Manuel now. Oh, hurry, Manuel.
Here, hurry, Betty. We don't get more.
Good work, Manuel. You certainly saved us all then.
Oh, there's an arrow sticking through the shield in front of me, and it's still flaming.
Tomorrow's pulling it out, Betty. That's one shield that saved your life.
Look, Jack. Most of the arrows are falling in the river behind us now. Yeah, we must be getting out of range, Billy.
Our great Tuck. We're too far away now. They no can eat us.
Oh, it's too good to be true. Is there anything else they can do to us now, Uncle Jim?
I hope not, Betty. I don't think there's anything that this special bunch of Mandayas can do. They're way up on the cliff, and we're almost to the end of the gorge. It'll take them some time to get down off the cliff.
They know what us now, Uncle Jim. They no come close us. They very much afraid of Moro. My men guard you.
But holy mackerel, Manuel, you've only got a couple of men with you. You can't guard us against a whole tribe.
No, Billy, but Uncle Jim got big eagle duck flap wings.
Oh, you mean the outer gyro? Yeah, we still got that. But I don't know how long we'll have it if they shoot flaming arrows at it. Look, Uncle Jim, we're at the end of the gorge. Why, here the river isn't flowing swiftly at all.
Oh, there's a sort of lake ahead of us. There's just a smooth and quiet.
Now, that little lake must empty through this gorge, Betty. I see that whisper is turning toward the shore.
Hey, wait a minute. What's that, Uncle Jim? What's that terrible-looking thing waiting for us on the bank?
Oh, it looks like half man and half beast. And it's jumping up and down and waiting. It's arms.
Suffering catfish, it's got horns on its head. Why, it's got the head of a carabao, and the rest of it looks like a crocodile standing on its hind legs. Say, that must be the Bagani.
You're right, Jack. That Bagani. That big medicine man or tribe. In come down, scare away, eagle that flap wing.
Oh, but what will he do if the eagle isn't scared away, Uncle Jim?
I don't know, Betty, but we'll soon find out. Whisper's taking us right over.
what a reception that was for Jack Armstrong and the others. And say, the reception isn't over yet either. There's that remarkable creature, the Pagani, waiting for them on shore, trying to frighten them away. But you can bet your boots it'll take more than that to frighten Jack and Uncle Jim and the others, because they're getting mighty close to Professor Loring. But I don't have to tell you that there's a lot more going to happen before they can get to their friend. So listen in, all of you, at the same time tomorrow for another exciting episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. What's the breakfast lineup at your house for tomorrow morning? If Wheaties are on the list, you've got a mighty fine treat coming your way. Packed with plenty of downright delicious flavor and a lot of good, solid nourishment, Wheaties, milk, and fruit are leading the breakfast parade in millions of homes these mornings. Get Wheaties from the grocer right away.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we...
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Listen, I'd like to have a little talk with you fellas and girls who eat Wheaties for breakfast and breakfast alone. Now, I know, and you probably know, that those famous whole wheat flakes taste plenty good in the morning. And I think we both know that when they're served with milk or cream and fruit, well, they're just about perfect as far as flavor's concerned. No arguments on that, are there? Okay. Well, there's plenty of extra pleasure packed away in that big orange and blue package. Pleasure you might not know about. In the first place, Wheaties with milk or cream make an A1 afternoon lunch. Yes, they're just as delicious, just as nourishing, and just as easy to fix in the afternoon as they are at breakfast time. Now, get this picture set in your mind. You come home from school and you've been feeling pretty hungry for an hour or so. Well, then you hike out into the kitchen, reach for that big orange and blue Wheaties package, and pour a man-sized helping of those keen-tasting whole wheat flakes into a bowl. Add milk or cream, and at just about the time it takes to tell it, you've got one of the most satisfying afternoon lunches I know. Plenty of downright delicious flavor and a lot of good substantial nourishment. Sounds mighty good, doesn't it? So right now, before you forget it, remind Mother to have that Wheaties package ready when you get home from school tomorrow afternoon. Wheaties for breakfast? Absolutely. And Wheaties to fix that hungry feeling every afternoon. Now you're eating. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Jack Armstrong and the others have just fought their way through a narrow gorge in Mindanao that guards the entrance to the country of the Mandayas, a pagan tribe who are holding Professor Loring a prisoner. Their heavy meter has been towed through the rapids in the gorge by their autogyro airplane, and they have now reached quiet water and are rapidly approaching the shore. But on the shore, a fearsome creature awaits them. A man dressed in the head of a carabao, in the skin of a crocodile, and his arms covered with the wings of many birds. He is the Pagani, the medicine man of the tribe, and he is flapping his arms to frighten off the strange visitors. Right now, while the beachcomber Whisper is piloting the autogyro, Jack and Billy and Betty and Uncle Jim are sitting near the middle of the Vinta, and Mario and his Moros are in their seats, ready to resume paddling as soon as the line is cast off. Listen.
Soft-run catfish. Does that cross between a bull and a crocodile think he can scare us away by flapping his arms? He's doing his best, Billy. I guess his professional reputation is at stake.
He certainly looks fierce enough to frighten away almost anything. Does the Pagani dress up like that all the time?
Only on special occasions, I imagine, Betty. They saw the Vita coming upstream, so they probably told the medicine man to come out and do his stuff.
But jumping Jiminy, Uncle Jim, they did their best to keep us from getting through the gorge. They threw stones at us.
And shot at us with flaming arrows?
And now they're going to meet us with the magic of the medicine man.
Well, Jack, when it comes to magic, we have a few tricks up our sleeve, too. We have the auto gyro, and we've got those walkie-talkie broadcast sets that we can strap to our backs, and we'll probably need them all before we rescue Professor Loring.
Oh, look, Uncle Jim. Whisper has stopped the auto gyro.
Good. I was just going to signal him to stop anyway. We'll paddle up alongside of him and decide what we're going to do about that Pagani and the rest of the tribe.
He's thrown the line over, Uncle Jim. Look, he's turning around. He's going to taxi back to us.
Manuel, tell one of your men to haul in that line. We'll paddle the rest of the way.
All right, Uncle Jim. All right. Hey, Paragon.
Oh, look at the Pagani. He's jumping up and down and waving his arms like
He
mad.
thinks he's really scaring the auto gyro away, Betty. Well, Betty feels pretty good right now, but wait till that plane takes off and flies over his head. He won't feel so good then.
We won't do any flying for a while yet, Billy. I don't want the Pagani or any of this tribe to know that the ship can really fly until we're ready to turn loose all of our magic on them.
Well, here comes Whisper now. He's coming right alongside of us.
I'll reach over and hold the pontoon. There, I've got it. Well, Whisper, you certainly saved our lives pulling us through those rapids.
On my word, you did have a bit of excitement, didn't you? Stones and flaming arrows and all the rest of it.
We had a few exciting moments there, Whisper. Where's Manuel? Oh, here he comes. We've got to decide what our next step will be.
I say that's a rather frightful-looking creature waiting for us ashore. He's hopping around as though he had some fighters dance.
He thinks he's scaring you and the auto gyro away from the shore, Whisper.
He looks rather like a bad dream come to life.
Well, Manuel, we've got to decide what to do now. Do you know this country?
That's right, Uncle Jim. Me know this country. Me be here for.
But where's the village, Manuel? Where's the village where Professor Loring is held prisoner? Can we see it from here?
No, Jack. We no see village from here. But village not far away. You look on shore. You see hill near shore?
You mean those hills that come almost down to the edge of the water? Why, they're not very high. They're not as high as that cliff over the gorge.
They not very high, Billy, but they very steep. They go straight up, straight down, like cliff.
But the hills stopped where the Pagani's dancing up and down, Manuel. There's a ravine through them, a sort of gateway.
That's right, Betty. That way go village. That why Pagani stand there. Him guard village.
But he won't be the only one to guard the village, Manuel. Won't all the tribesmen be there soon to block our way?
You're right, Jack. But first, big chief of village come down. Him come soon. You see, him come down, go in temple with Pagani.
A temple? Manuel, don't tell me that the Mandayas have a temple.
They got many temple, Billy. They worship wooden god in temple. They ask wooden god what do. Wooden god tell them.
But how can an idol carved out of wood tell them anything, Manuel? The idols can't talk, can they?
No, Betty. Wooden idol no talk. But Pagani make believe they talk. Him make believe him hear them. Him tell chief what Kalana say.
Who is Kalana, Manuel?
Kalana, him big wooden idol. Him big like two men. Him guard village. Him stay inside temple in hillside, close to Pagani.
Let me get this straight now, Manuel. You say there's a temple dug out of the hillside where the Pagani is standing. There's a big wooden idol called Kalana in that temple. And the chief of the tribe will ask Kalana what to do about us before he does anything.
That's right, Uncle Jim.
But suffer and catfish, those Mandayas who shot at us in the gorge didn't ask Kalana what to do.
Kalana protect Lake Village, Billy. Kalana no protect God.
I get the idea, Manuel. We're not really in Kalana's country until we forced our way through the gorge.
But it won't really be Kalana who'll tell the chief what to do. It'll be the Pagani. The Pagani can pretend that Kalana says anything he wants him to say.
That's always the way with pagan gods and oracles, Betty. The oracles speak for the gods. Well, then if we could make friends with the Pagani, we'd make friends with the Mandayas.
But, my dear Billy, I don't think we're going to make friends with the delightful Pagani. He doesn't look very hospitable now. Well, he's jumping up and down, making carabao faces at us.
We'll give it a try anyway, Whisper. Fortunately, he doesn't know that our real purpose in coming here is to rescue Professor Loring.
Oh, look, Uncle Jim. There are 3 natives coming through that ravine. They've got their bows and arrows with them.
They've got war paint and everything else on them. But only one has a shield.
Him chief of village, Jack. Him come see who we are. Pretty soon, him go inside temple with Pagani. Ask Kalana what do.
On my word, they look fierce.
They've got to be fierce, Whisper. They wouldn't live here sandwiched in among the Moros if they weren't fierce and warlike. Can you speak their dialect, Manuel?
Me speak their tongue, Uncle Jim. They know me.
But are you friendly with them, Manuel?
They not like me, Jack. They like Sultan Boloa. They know me, friend of Sultan Natang.
But what are we going to do, Uncle Jim? Are we going to wait until they go into a huddle with the wooden idol, Kalana?
I'm afraid I know what Kalana will tell them, Billy. I think our best bet is to go ashore and talk to them before they go into the temple.
You're right, Uncle Jim. We go now, huh? We go shore, for they go in temple.
All right, Mario. Tell your Moros to paddle us ashore to the Bagani. We'll see if we can make friends with them before we try anything else. Let's go.
Sarang! Solenansuela! Sarango!
Oh, Jack, I'm getting nervous all over again.
That Pagani's a sight to make anyone nervous, Betty. But we've got one advantage on him. We're not afraid of his magic.
Oh, it's not his magic I'm thinking of, Jack. It's his tribe of pagans with the flaming arrows.
The pagans aren't down at the temple, Billy. They're staying back at the village until the chief talks with the great god Kalana.
Oh, if we could only make the Bagani tell the chief that we're friends of Kalana.
Well, there's not much chance of that, Betty. But maybe we can make the chief believe that we're friends in spite of Kalana.
There's still less chance of that, Jack. These Mandayas are the most superstitious people in the entire islands. They believe implicitly in their wooden idols.
I wish I could crawl inside one of the idols and do a little talking myself. And that'd fool the Bagani.
I just know it would. Imagine his surprise if the idol actually did talk out loud.
Uncle Jim, that gives me an idea. Boy, it's a honey of an idea if it'd work.
Most ideas are good if they'll work, Jack.
What's your idea? If we could make the god Kalana actually talk, then we could out-magic the Bagani.
Jumping Jiminy gee whiz. You mean the same way we made the horse talk in Zamboanga?
That's just what I was thinking of, Billy. We have those 2 walkie-talkie broadcast sets in the arena with us. We can strap them on our backs when we go ashore. If we get a lucky break and can get inside the temple, maybe we could slip one of those sets behind the wooden idol.
Oh, Jack, that's a marvelous idea. If we can do it.
What do you think of it, Uncle Jim?
I think just as Betty does, Jack. It's a marvelous idea if we can do it.
Jumping crickets, if we could get away with that, we could challenge the Bagani to a magic contest. We could tell the chief that the great god Kalana will actually speak out loud for us. I bet you the Bagani has never made the idol speak out loud.
Manuel, you've been listening to all this.
Huh?
Is there any chance of our slipping one of the portable radio sets behind the finger of Kalana?
Maybe, Uncle Jim. Kalana, him very big. Him way back in temple. Very dark back there. Maybe can do.
We'll be all ready for the chance anyway. Billy, go forward and get those 2 walkie-talkie sets. You and Jack should have them strapped to your backs when we land.
Okay, Uncle Jim. I'll go and get them now. Hope the batteries are all right.
We'll have to make the idol talk in their language, Manuel. So if we get one of the sets behind the idol, you'll have to stick close to the other set to do the broadcasting.
Me understand, Jack. Me see how you make horse talk in Zamboanga. Maybe we make Kalana talk, huh? That very good. That very, very good.
Oh, look, Jack. The chief and his 2 men have reached the Bagani. They're talking to him.
They go in temple pretty soon, Betty.
But say, we ought to keep them from getting in the temple before we reach them, Manuel. We want to be in there when the Bagani starts asking questions of the god Kalana.
We're almost ashore, Manuel. Can't you call to them and tell them to wait?
We try, Uncle Jim. Akasegita! Kalata Sugalo! Alime Satapa!
My, that dialect doesn't sound a bit like the Moro dialect.
But the chief understands it, Betty. Look at him.
The Bagani understands it too, Jack, and he doesn't like it. He's trying to make the chief go into the temple before we get there.
Well, why does he want to do that, Uncle Jim?
I think he wants to set the chief against us before we arrive, Betty.
But he can always do it after we get there, Uncle Jim.
There's one queer thing about all medicine men, Betty. They know that their stuff is all fake, but they're always afraid of the magic of somebody else.
I guess that's right, Uncle Jim. And he's seen our Oro Gyro pulling our feeder, and he's afraid of our magic.
He's trying awfully hard to get the chief to go somewhere, but I don't see anything in the temple.
I see it, Betty. At least I see the entrance to it. Look at that sort of cliff that comes down right behind the Bagani.
Oh, I see the cliff, Jack, but there are trees and bushes in front of it.
There's one bare spot. See it? To the left of the Bagani. And it looks as though there's some sort of entrance there. What? I think I see a wooden idol on each side of the entrance.
You right, Jack. You right. That's where you go inside temple of God Kalana.
And we've got to find some way to get in there. Here comes Billy now with the walkie-talkie set. Are the batteries all right, Billy?
You bet they are, Jack. I just tested them.
Good. We'll slip the sets on our backs before we leave the Vita. Then, once we're ashore, we'll give that Bagani a lesson in real magic.
Say, if Jack can really place that little radio set behind the great god Kalana, there's going to be one surprise medicine man in that temple. Just imagine how you'd feel if a wooden idol suddenly started to talk back at you. You'll certainly want to be in on the fun and the excitement in that temple. So be sure to listen in, all of you, at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Look, here's a tip. If you'd like a different breakfast every day of the week, just leave it up to a breakfast of champions to fill the bill. For instance, Let's say you had a big glass of grapefruit juice with your Wheaties and cream this morning. Well, then, tomorrow, enjoy your Wheaties with bananas. Day after tomorrow, have Wheaties with still a different one of your favorite fruits or fruit juices. Do that starting tomorrow and see how much more you enjoy your breakfast. You'll want to be sure that there's a good supply of Wheaties on hand for you all the time. If the supply is running a little low right now, remind Mother to put Wheaties right at the top of tomorrow's shopping list.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all the bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the piper Hudson High voice, show them how we stand.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Hear ye, hear ye. Today I've got a super special piece of news for you girls who listen to Jack Armstrong. And honestly, once you've heard of what I'm going to tell you, I'll bet you'll say to yourself that it's just too good to be true. Now look, how would you like to have a brand new bracelet? One that's absolutely different from anything you've ever seen. Well, here's your chance because General Mills, makers of Wheaties, are making it possible for you to get a brand new luminous gardenia bracelet. Now, I don't have to tell you just how beautiful gardenias are, I know. They might be your favorite flower. Well, the new luminous gardenia bracelet is made of 5 perfectly formed plastic gardenias all linked together. By removing one or more of the gardenias, the bracelet can be adjusted to fit any size wrist. Each gardenia is an inch in diameter and is surrounded by glossy green leaves. Why, say, the waxy white ivory-like flowers are so realistic that it's hard to tell them from real flowers. The colors in the bracelet are waterproof and cannot in any way soil the skin or clothing. But here's what's make this luminous gardenia bracelet different from anything you've ever seen. It actually glows in the dark. That's right. The gardenias are made of a special Kruger-like plastic which, after it's properly charged under any electric light, will glow in the dark for several hours. Now, just think how unusual and attractive a bracelet like this must be. It's bound to make you stand right out in any crowd, day or night. But here's another surprising feature of the luminous gardenia bracelet. The links may be separated, and the gardenias worn as a wreath in the hair, as a necklace, or even pinned to your dress. Girls, this is an offer you just can't afford to miss. It's your one and only chance to get one of these amazing bracelets. Now, here's all you have to do to make a luminous gardenia bracelet your very own. But you've got to act fast. Just send the top from one Wheaties package, together with your name and address, and 25 cents in cash to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, I'll repeat those instructions. For your own personal luminous gardenia bracelet, send the top from one Wheaties package, together with your name and address, and 1/4, 25 cents, to Betty, Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. But remember, the supply is definitely limited, and if you want to be certain of getting your bracelet, send your order right away, tonight. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. The Bagani, the medicine man of the pagan Mandaeus, is screaming his imprecations to Jack Armstrong and the others as Malleus boatmen paddle him to the shore in their quest for the missing Professor Loring. The Bagani is a fearsome sight, all dressed up in his carabao head, the hide of a crocodile, and the feathers of many birds. He's trying to frighten Jack and the others away from the temple of the wooden god Kalana, whom the chief of the tribe has come to consult about the strange visitors. But Jack and Uncle Jim are going to let nothing stop them in their search for Professor Loring. They know he's a prisoner in the Mendayan village, which is located on the other side of the hills which stretch down to the lake. And so, while the fearfully dressed Bagani shouts and jumps up and down, the Vinta makes for shore with Jack and Billy and Betty and Uncle Jim sitting in the middle of the outrigged boat. Listen.
Oh,
Holy smoke, Jack. That Pagani act is always going crazy.
He's putting on a good act of scaring us away, Billy.
Oh, but look at the chief of the tribe, Jack. He's getting a little nervous.
I guess he is, Betty. His warriors are all back guarding the village, and he has just a couple of men with him. For all he knows, Malua's Moros may attack him before he has a chance to consult the wooden idol, Kalana. Isn't that right, Malua?
Him not afraid, Jack. Him know me. Him not my friend, but him know me not talking.
It's all right, Malua, but he doesn't know us. He doesn't know why we've come here.
Him not afraid, Uncle Jim. If him afraid, him call him men. Some him men be very close.
Will he really go inside the temple, Malua, and ask Kalana what to do about it?
That's right, Betty. Him always ask Kalana what do. And him always do what Kalana say.
You mean he always does what the Pagani tells him that Kalana says?
That's right, Billy. Kalana, he made wood. Him no talk.
Well, if our plan works out all right, Kalana's going to talk this time. Billy, time to strap the walkie-talkies on our backs.
Okay, Jack. Here's your little broadcast set. I'll put mine on right away.
Well, here, Jack. I'll help you strap your set on your back.
Thanks, Betty. Don't turn on that switch by mistake. We don't want those batteries to run down.
Oh, but don't forget to turn on the switch when you hide the walkie-talkie behind the figure of Kalana in the temple.
I won't, Betty. Hey, Malua, we're going to hit the shore.
We stop in time, Jack. Akang, Salatanayang Sage, Sarengo!
Oh, thank goodness that Pagani stopped screaming.
I guess he's decided that he can't frighten us away, Betty. Hey, look. They're coming toward us.
We'll get out and meet him on shore. We'll have to get our feet wet. You stick close to me, Betty. Come on.
We want to have Malua with us, too. He's the only one who can speak their language.
The Pagani is staying back a little way, but the chief is going to talk to Malua.
Malua, Kalit. Kaya Chenega Politenesa.
Alo ne Kalit. Alo ne Kalit. Sakita e Salang Kalit.
Oh, that's queer. Malua and the chief are walking away.
They're walking back to where the Bagani's standing, Jack. I guess they're going into a huddle.
Uncle Jim, what do you suppose they're talking about?
They're probably talking about us, Betty. The chief will want to know who we are and why we're here.
Suffering catfish. I hope Malua doesn't tell him why we're here.
He won't, Billy. He won't tell the chief why we're here until after we've gone into the temple.
But where is the temple, Jack? I don't see a sign of it now.
Well, there's not much to see from here, Betty. But there's the entrance Malua told us about over there in the cliff with the two wooden idols in front of it.
Here comes Malua, Jack. Now we'll find out what's up.
But the chief isn't with them. The chief is talking to the Pagani.
They're having quite an argument there. It looks as though the Pagani wants one thing and the chief wants another.
Well, Malua, what did you and the chief say to each other?
We say, hello, Jack. Chief say, hello. Me say we come in peace. Him say him greet me in peace.
Well, that's a good start, Malua, but what did you say after the formalities were over?
Chief say, why white people here? Me say, you come in peace. You want be friend.
But what about the Pagani, Malua? What did he say?
Pagani say, we not come in peace. Pagani say, we not friend. Me tell Pagani him lie.
Well, then what did the chief say, Malua?
Chief say, him ask great God Kalana what do. Soon him go in temple. Ask Kalana. Pagani tell him what Kalana say.
Yeah, and I know what he'll tell the chief, too.
But did you arrange it so we could go in the temple, too, Malua?
Me fix, Uncle Jim. Me say you big medicine man. Me say, great God Kalana like speak you.
Oh, my. What did the Pagani say to that?
Lie. Pagani say, great God Kalana speak only him. Me tell Chief Kalana speak you. Me tell Chief Kalana speak out loud to you.
Oh, now we've got to make that wooden god talk.
I'll say we have, Billy. If we don't, it'll prove that the Pagani's right. And we'll never get Professor Loring without a fight of some kind.
But what are we going to do now, Malua? Are we all going into the temple?
We go in temple, Betty. But me no like you in temple. Better you stay here with my men.
Oh, Uncle Jim, I don't want to stay here. Can't I go in the temple with you?
I'm afraid Manua's right, Betty. If anything goes wrong, there's no telling what may happen. If you're here, Manua's men can always take you out to Whisper. See, he's still waiting out in the lake in the autogyro. He can fly here to safety if anything happens.
Oh, all right, Uncle Jim. But I know that if anything happens, Whisper won't just stay out in the lake and do nothing.
Perhaps not. But you'll be safer in the airplane. Are they waiting for us, Manua?
They wait, Uncle Jim. We go now, huh?
Yes, we'll go now. Come on, Jack. Come on, Billy.
Yeah, we'll have to keep on our toes when we get in the temple, Billy. We've got to plant this radio set behind Kalana somehow.
Yeah, I hope it's dark in that temple, Jack.
Yeah, it's bound to be half dark in there, Billy. Say, Manua, will you ask the chief if Billy and I can take a walk around the temple? Tell him we've never seen a real temple before.
Me ask him, Jack. But Bagani, him no like.
But we've got to do it whether he likes it or not. We've just got to make that great god Kalana do some talking.
Me try fix, Jack. Uncle Jim, you, Jack, and Billy walk behind Chief and Bagani.
We go ahead. Walk with them. That way, better.
All right, Manuel. We'll walk a little behind you.
Gosh, all himwreck. I hope that Manuel can fix it up all right with the chief. If he doesn't, we'll have to arrange it another way. And say, Uncle Jim, we'll have to have Manuel at the mic of one of the walkie-talkies. It wouldn't do to have the great god Kalana speak out in English.
It certainly wouldn't, Jack. We'll have to make him speak in a language that the chief can understand.
There's the entrance to the temple, Jack. I'm getting nervous again. I guess we're all a bit nervous, Billy. We'll be inside that temple in a minute, so keep your chin up.
Well, here's the entrance, Jack. The Bagani and the chief and Manuel are going inside now. Come on, let's follow them.
Holy mackerel. It is dark inside here. Your eyes will get used to it in a minute, Billy. Remember, that's a bright tropical sun outside. But I still can't see anything, Jack. Oh, now I'm beginning to see a little. There's Manuel and the others right in front of us. I can see quite a bit now, Billy. Why, the temple is a huge cave in the hillside. And look, Billy. Look way back in the cave, right between the double row of wooden figures. Do you see it? Holy smoke, yes, Jack. It's like a great big giant sitting down with his legs crossed. That must be the great god Kalana. Is that right, Manuel?
That's right, Jack. That Kalana.
I'm glad he's way back in the temple where it's kind of hard to see. Say, Manuel, did you ask the chief if Jack and I could take a walk around the temple?
Me ask him, Billy. Chief say no. Him say many men go back there, but no man come back.
But the Bagani told him to say that.
You're wrong, Jack. Bagani say you can go.
Oh, jumping Jupiter. You mean the chief said it wasn't safe for us to go, and the Bagani said to go ahead?
That's right, Billy.
Well, I don't get that at all. I figured it'd be the Bagani who wouldn't want us to go.
So did I, Billy. There's something queer about that.
I know what it means, Uncle Jim. It means there's a trap of some kind back there. The chief doesn't want to do us any harm until he's asked Kalana what to do. But the Bagani, he'd be glad to have something happen to us. But gosh, Wilkins, Jack, we've got to get that walkie-talkie planted behind Kalana. You're darn tootin', Billy. Manuel, tell the chief that we have magic which will keep all harm away from us. Tell him that we'll take a chance.
Wait a minute, Jack. I'm not so sure about that. There may be something dangerous back there.
I know it, Uncle Jim, but it must be something and not somebody. I've got my pocket flashlight with me, and I won't take a step unless I can see what I'm stepping into.
All right, Jack. I guess it's safe enough if you have a light. And we've certainly got to make that wooden god talk. Go ahead, Manuel. Tell the chief.
Me tell him, Uncle Jim. Akalato ne sula. Munata pa gelita. Achatu, chita gat.
Vega. Tulita ne pa yo burlita.
What did he say, Manuel?
Him say go. Him wait till you come back for him ask Kalana. But him not think you come back.
Suffering catfish. Maybe this isn't such a hot idea after all, Jack.
Ay, anehora. Saratai brakita ne solu.
Holy mackerel, what's the chief saying now, Manuel?
Him say you better have strong magic, Billy.
We got strong magic. We've got magic and Jack's flashlight. Come on, Jack, before I really get scared. Let's see what's in the back of this temple. Well, what is there in the back of that temple that's so dangerous? There must be something there, or the Bagani wouldn't be so willing to have him go. But Jack has his flashlight with him, and you can bet that he and Billy will find out what's going on. And say, if they can get their portable radio set in place behind that great wooden god, well, you can just guess what'll happen when the chief begins putting questions to Kalana. You'll certainly want to be there, so listen in, all of you, to another exciting adventure of the missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Yes, that's what you're going to have to do to get a luminous gardenia bracelet. And I don't want a single one of you to miss out on this opportunity to get this unusual bracelet. Remember, it's not just an ordinary bracelet, but a beautiful piece of plastic jewelry that actually glows in the dark. It's absolutely new, different, and smart. So do this now. Send the top from one Wheaties package, together with your name and address, and 25 cents to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. But don't put it off. The offer closes at midnight this Saturday. So get your order for a luminous gardenia bracelet in the mail tonight.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the piper Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our TV stand.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the piper Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our TV champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Look, if you girls have older sisters or know girls who are in college right now, I don't have to tell you that they really know how to dress and make themselves attractive. And say, there isn't a reason in the world why you shouldn't take a tip from them. For instance, here's what Miss Betty Brang of the Alpha Phi sorority at Northwestern University wrote about her unusual new luminous gardenia bracelet, the one we're offering you right now for only one Wheaties box top and 25 cents. Listen.
The first night I had my luminous gardenia bracelet, I wore it to a movie. All of a sudden, I noticed some commotion near me and looked around. Then it dawned on me. Everyone was looking at my gardenia bracelet, which was glowing brightly in the dark.
And another evening, Miss Brang wore her luminous gardenia bracelet to a dance. She says,
That evening, I wore my bracelet fastened off the top of my head. I had any number of people stop me on the dance floor and ask what was shining in my hair.
Then Miss Brang ends her very fine letter.
The girls in the Alpha Phi house just love these luminous bracelets. There's something new. You can't fool the modern girl. She knows beauty when she sees it.
And there's plenty of beauty in this luminous gardenia bracelet. It's the kind of beauty that shows up day and night. Just think. You can now have for your very own a bracelet of 5 beautiful linked gardenias made of Krugerlite plastic. Each gardenia is about 1 inch in diameter and is nestled in smooth, glossy green leaves. You've never seen anything like it. Just picture yourself wearing it as a bracelet or necklace, or wearing the separate gardenias on your dress or coat when you go out at night. Now, here's all you have to do to own a bracelet that actually glows in the dark as if it were filled with a soft, attractive green fire. Just send the top from one Wheaties package together with your name and address and 25 cents, 1/4, to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. The supply of these attractive bracelets is strictly limited, and you've got to hurry if you're going to be certain of getting yours. So tonight, without fail, send one Wheaties box top with your name and address and 25 cents in cash to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Don't wait. Send for your luminous gardenia bracelet tonight. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Jack Armstrong and Billy are going to the back of an underground temple of the pagan Mandias to place a little portable radio set behind the wooden figure of the great god Kalana. They are trying to outwit the Bagani, the medicine man of the tribe, who is the oracle of the god. But Jack and Billy have been warned that some secret danger awaits them in the dark recesses of the temple, and they are on the alert for anything. Betty is outside the temple under the protection of Malua's Moros. But Uncle Jim and Malua are in the front end of the temple with the Bagani and the chief of the Mandias, who has come to ask the great god Kalana about the white visitors. Since the chief is holding Professor Loring prisoner in this village, Jack and Billy are determined that the wooden god shall give the chief the right answer. Listen.
Jumping chimney, Jack. It's pretty dark where we're going, way in the back of the temple. If there's any danger there, we won't know it until we run into it.
We've got to make it our business to know it before we run into it, Billy.
That Bagani was just too doggone anxious to let us explore back there. I know there's some real danger somewhere near the wooden god Kalana, and we've got to find it. Say, we're getting pretty far back in the temple now, Jack. It's pretty dark.
Yeah.
I'm going to use my flashlight on the floor of the temple, Billy. Don't take a step unless you can see just where you're stepping. Okay, Jack. There doesn't seem to be anything ahead of us but the pedestal of the idol.
I'm not so sure, Billy.
I've an idea that the god Kalana is a sacrificial god. I mean, the Mandias may sacrifice prisoners to him. There's probably something in back of it. But gosh, all hemlock, Jack. We don't want to explore all through the back of the temple. All we want to do is place that walkie-talkie radio set behind Carolina.
That's all we're going to do, Billy. But we've got to be careful just the same. Here, we can walk behind Carolina now.
Flash your light on him for a second. Why, he's all hollowed out in back.
That's odd. He's hollowed out in the shape of a man. Why, a man could stand up in his back.
Well, that's just the place for the radio set, Jack. I'll swing my set off my back and put it right in.
All right, Billy. Don't forget to turn on the switch.
I won't. There, I'll turn it on. And now...
Billy, wait a minute.
Holy mackerel, Jack. Don't scare me that way. What's the trouble?
Look, Billy. Look where I flashed my light. Right at the base of Carolina. Do you see that?
Jiminy gee whiz. It's something cut out of the floor.
It looks like a slide to me. Like a coal slide into a cellar. Stay where you are, Billy. Don't move until we see where it leads to. I'll flash my light.
Whew. What is it, Jack? What do you see?
Look, Billy. There's a pit of some kind in the floor. That slide leads to the pit.
Oh, golly. If I'd taken another step, I would have hit that slide and slid right down into the pit.
I'll say you would. Easy now. We'll step over carefully to the edge of the pit and see what's in it.
Jack, I'm almost afraid to look into that pit.
So am I, Billy. But here goes. Watch it. We're at the edge of it. I'll flash my light down.
Boy, is that deep. And say, there's water in it, Jack.
Yeah, there's water in it, all right. Well, what's that? What's that down there swimming around?
Jack, it's a crocodile.
That's what it is, Billy. A crocodile.
Then Carolina is a sacrificial god.
It looks that way. I've got it, Billy. They tie their prisoner in the back of Carolina some way, and then at the right time, they push a spring or something, and he slides down to the crocodile.
Great whales and little fishes, Jack, to think that I almost took a bath in that crocodile tub.
Well, you didn't, Billy, and that's what counts. Let's get that walkie-talkie installed in the back of Carolina. I'll hold my light so you can see. Careful now. Don't fall into that slide.
Oh, you can just bet that I'll be careful, Jack. There. And wait, Jack. I'll turn up the volume good and loud so that when the great God speaks, everybody can hear him.
I'd like to see the Bagani's face when Carolina starts talking.
Well, you won't, Jack. Not unless he takes off that carabao head he's wearing. Come on, let's get back.
Let's jump over to the other side of the slide and go back that way, Billy. Just to show the chief that our magic got us safely by the crocodile pit.
All right, Jack. We can just about step over the slide.
There. I'm over. I'm over too, Billy. I'll turn off the light now. We'll let the chief and the Bagani think we've got some real magic here. I hope the chief doesn't start asking Carolina questions until we get back.
He told Manuel he'd wait for us, Jack.
Say, Billy, when we get back, always face the chief and the Bagani. If you don't, they might notice that the radio set's gone from your back.
Okay, Jack. But they'd think it's just a hiking pack anyway. Say, how you going to work the broadcast?
Manuel will have to talk into my mic, Billy. He's the only one who can speak the Mandayan dialect. It wouldn't do any good if the great god Carolina spoke English and the chief couldn't understand it.
Oh, I'll say it wouldn't. Look, there's somebody coming to meet us. I think it's Uncle Jim.
Hello, Jack. I'm glad to see that you're back all right. Did you get the walkie-talkie installed back of Carolina?
It's all ready to sound off, Uncle Jim. Just as soon as somebody talks into the mic of my set.
Good. We'll get back to the chief now.
Oh, boy, I'd like to see the Bagani's face when the great god Carolina really speaks out loud so the chief can hear him.
Billy, you stay here with me and the chief. Jack, you and Malua had better go near the entrance with your radio set.
Wait a minute, Uncle Jim. Here comes Malua now.
Is the Bagani still talking against us to the chief, Malua?
Him say bad thing, Uncle Jim. Me come back for make sure everything all right. Because if everything not all right, me got do something quick.
Everything's all right, Malua. The walkie-talkie is all installed in back of the attic.
That's very good, Jack. Me tell chief now, Uncle Jim, the big medicine man. Me tell chief, Uncle Jim make great god Carolina talk. Saya tulata, ala kune lata sa bitang, mecha lunita kepola.
Tulitan palo prekun, repunarat kovato, asachi.
What did he say, Manuel?
Him say Carolina not talk. Him say Carolina never talk.
Well, he's got a surprise coming to him. Shall Manuel and I go out now, Uncle Jim?
All right, Jack. Billy and I'll stay here with the chief. Don't get too far away. You've got to hear what the chief says.
Come on, Manuel. We'll go near the entrance to the temple where the chief can't hear you.
What do you want me to do now, huh, Jack?
I want you to tell me what the chief says, Manuel, just as soon as he says it. I'll tell you what to say. Then you speak into this mic that I'm getting out of this set. And the great god Carolina will seem to say everything that you say.
Oh, that's very good, Jack. Here, me think we come far enough. They not hear us now.
We'll have to act quickly. The chief is getting ready to address Carolina now. Here, Manuel, here's the mic you speak into.
Yeah.
Hold it away from you except when you're talking. I'll turn on the switch. There, we're all set.
That's good, Jack.
Oh, Sati Carolina.
Chief, him as Carolina now.
Netra neprita, asalatu megos, chalita,
What did he say, Mario? He must call Lana. Our white man friend or enemy. Tell him we're friends, quick.
Nico Charlita, ahola sakebu megu.
Carlana knocked him for a loop when he spoke, Mario. Look at the chief. He looks scared to death. And I'll bet the Pagani isn't feeling any too happy either. Carlana talk good, huh, Jack?
Oh, sate Carlana.
Chief, him talk again.
Roshali, ne punita poyet.
Chief asked why white men come here. I don't want to tell him yet. Tell him we come with much magic and that our magic is stronger than the Pagani's magic.
Neko chilita, rapanko sanea punata, vitane paga.
The great God, Carlana certainly sounds convincing. Let's hear what the chief will say to that.
Oh, sate Carlana, akalya lo mekasuran, neakit.
Chief say he's white man magic, good magic, or bad magic. Tell him it'll be good magic for the chief if he does what Carlana tells him to do.
Nepo Charlita, Kaya Sanita, Abaya, Carlana.
What's going on in there, Mario? Why is the Pagani so excited? Him afraid, Jack. Him tell Chief Carlana no should talk. Him tell Chief only him can hear Carlana. What's the chief say? Chief tell him hear Carlana. Chief say Carlana mighty God.
Oh, sate Carlana.
Listen, Chief talk again to Carlana.
Sangre akalet, sayane Carlana.
Chief say what great Carlana want him do. Now we're getting to it. Tell him that Carlana wants him to give his white prisoner to the white stranger. Me tell him.
Nepo Charlita, Arang me Kashang me Gasulita Ave.
Listen to that Pagani. He's about to throw a fit. What's he saying, Mario? Him say, white man put evil voice in Carlana mouth. Him tell Chief not listen Carlana no more. Chief say, him not listen no more. Him look worried. Look, here comes the chief now. Give me that mic. I'll slip it back in the radio on my back. There we are. I think the chief wants to talk to you, Mario. We think him plenty scared, Jack. Here him come.
Akula Malua. Ne sangatita Rosanava.
What did he say, Mario?
Him say, him one white man come village. Him say he be friend white man.
Do you think he'll turn Professor Loring loose, Mario? Me not know, Jack. Right now, maybe yes. But Pagani, him make trouble. You watch out for him. Did you hear that, Uncle Jim? The chief wants us to go to his village as friends. And the great God Carlana told him to turn over Professor Loring to us.
Good work, Jack. We'll take a chance and go with him. But we better keep an eye on that Pagani. Come on, we'll get Betty.
Well, the great God Carlana has spoken through a loudspeaker. But it looks as though the chief may be just worried enough to release Professor Loring. But say, that Pagani isn't through yet. You can bet your boots he's going to have a lot to say to the chief before they get back to the village. So Jack and Uncle Jim had better not trust that chief too far. There's a lot of excitement ahead, so listen in, all of you, at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Here's an opportunity you simply can't afford to miss. A chance to own a luminous gardenia bracelet. I know you'll get a lot of genuine pleasure out of owning a bracelet that actually glows in the dark. One that's just as attractive and unusual looking in the dark as it is in broad daylight. And say, I'll bet you'll get plenty of compliments from your friends when you wear this attractive piece of costume jewelry. Here's all you have to do to get your own personal luminous gardenia bracelet. Just send the top from a Wheaties package together with your name and address and 25 cents to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. If you hurry, you may be the first in your neighborhood to own one of these attractive bracelets. Send for yours tonight.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all the bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand.
Jack Armstrong, the
bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Look, I want every girl within the sound of my voice to listen very carefully to what I'm going to say. Today is the last chance I'll have to urge you to send for your luminous gardenia bracelet. Now, I know that once you've seen and worn this unique bracelet, you'll be mighty enthusiastic about it. The luminous gardenia bracelet is made of 5 beautifully designed Kruger-Light plastic gardenias. Each little flower has a glossy green background of realistic gardenia leaves. Just think of owning a bracelet that actually glows in the dark as if it were filled with a soft green fire. A bracelet that can be taken apart and worn in your hair or as a necklace or as a decoration for your dress or coat. Why, there are a number of different ways you can use this bracelet. And when you're not wearing it at night, it can be used as a luminous decoration in your own room. But remember, the luminous gardenia bracelet is just as attractive in the daytime as it is at night. The ivory-like plastic flowers against the smooth, glossy green background of leaves gives the bracelet a natural beauty that will make your best-looking clothes even more attractive. You'll be able to wear it to school, to parties, to the movies, and, well, just about everywhere you go. It'll give a touch of spring to your late winter outfits and harmonize beautifully with your spring clothes. And say, here's a mighty good idea for you fellows. Why not order a luminous gardenia bracelet as a surprise from Mother? She'll get a lot of real pleasure out of it. You can take my word for that. Now, this offer absolutely closes tomorrow at midnight. That gives you less than 36 hours to get your order in the mail. So do this right now for sure. Just send the top off one Wheaties package together with your name and address and 25 cents, 1 quarter, to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. That's all there is to it. Your bracelet will be on its way to you just as soon as we can get it packaged and mailed. Now, remember those instructions. Send the top from 1 package of Wheaties together with your name and address and 25 cents in cash to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, that's certainly simple, isn't it? But if you delay, you'll miss your one and only opportunity to get one of these remarkable bracelets. Remember, your order must be postmarked not later than midnight tomorrow. So get busy right now and put your order in the mail for a luminous gardenia bracelet tonight. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Jack Armstrong and Billy, Betty, and Uncle Jim are following the Mandaya chief to his village in the interior of Mindanao. They are searching for the missing Professor Loring, whom they know is held a prisoner somewhere in the village. They have just outwitted the Bagani, the medicine man of the village, and have convinced the chief that their magic is more potent than the Bagani's magic. They have also made the chief believe that the wooden gods whom the Mandayas worship are on their side. Right now, while the beachcomber Whisper waits in the out-of-gyro airplane on a nearby lake, and Malua walks ahead with the chief, Jack and the others are approaching the village and keeping a sharp lookout for any sign of the captive Professor Loring. Listen.
Why, Jack, this is the funniest-looking village I've ever seen in the Philippines. Look how high the shacks are built above the ground.
Boy, they are up in the air, aren't they? Why, some of them must be built on posts 30 feet high.
Jumping Jiminy, they must use a rope ladder to get in and out with.
You're right there, Billy. I can see some of the ladders from here. They're made out of hemp and bamboo. I imagine they pull the ladders into the shacks after them.
But why do they have the shacks built so high, Uncle Jim? Are they afraid of wild beasts or something?
They're afraid of the Moros, Betty. This particular tribe of Mandayas is sandwiched in between the Moros of Sultan Boloa and the Moros of Sultan Natang. And Boloa's Moros have a wicked reputation for attacking villages at night and carrying off the inhabitants for slaves.
Well, they look safe enough from attack now.
They're not as safe as they look, Jack. Manua tells me that sometimes the Moors attack and burn down the posts under the shack. Then the shack falls down, and it's just too bad.
Holy smoke, are we going to have to climb up into each one of those shacks to find where Professor Loring is kept?
Not unless we have to, Billy, and I hope we don't have to. The great god Kalana, with the help of our loudspeaker, told the chief to release Professor Loring to us.
Oh, but do you think he will, Uncle Jim? Do you think he will obey the wooden god?
I don't know, Betty. He's afraid of Sultan Boloa. And it's Boloa who makes him keep Loring a prisoner.
And the chief is still afraid of the Bagani, Uncle Jim. That medicine man will never forgive us for making that wooden idol talk.
Say, where is the Bagani? He didn't come with us when we left the temple. I'll bet you that guy's up to some mischief.
I know what he's doing. He's staying behind to try to find out how we made the great god Kalana talk.
I'm afraid he is, Betty.
He'll probably find that walkie-talkie set we planted inside Carolina. Jumping crickets, I hope he doesn't smash the set.
Well, I hope he doesn't bring it to the village and show it to the chief until after we've found Professor Loring, Billy. If he does, and the chief realizes that we've tricked him, we may have some trouble.
Oh, Uncle Jim, what will we do then?
We can always tell Whisper to fly overhead with the autogyro, Betty. That'll frighten the tribe.
But how will we get word to Whisper, Uncle Jim?
That's easy, Betty. I've got my walkie-talkie radio set strapped to my back. And Whisper's keeping his radio set in the plane tuned to me. So you see, we can talk to each other.
You may have to talk to him, Jack. Look at those warriors waiting for us. And they've all got their bows and arrows with them.
Oh, I don't like the way they're looking at us.
Me either, Betty. Some of them are probably the same ones who shot flaming arrows at us in the gorge.
Well, we won't have to worry about them for the present, Jack. See? Chief is giving a signal. The warriors are forming a half circle. Why, they're sitting down on the ground.
Golly, it looks as if they're getting ready to hear a speech or something.
When are you going to ask the chief about Professor Loring, Uncle Jim?
Malua's been talking about Professor Loring to the chief all the way here, Betty. Here comes Malua now. We'll see what luck he's had. Well, Malua, what's the chief going to do now?
Him going tell him men, great God Kalana spoke him, Uncle Jim. Him going tell him men, you mighty medicine man. Him tell him men, they no much hurt you.
Is he going to tell his men what Kalana said about giving up Professor Loring?
No, Jack. Him not tell him men about that.
Oh, but why not, Malua? Isn't he going to give up Professor Loring?
Me ask him, Betty. Me tell him white medicine man want him white prisoner.
What'd he say to that, Malua?
Him say him no got white prisoner. Him say him never have white prisoner, but him lie. Me know him lie plenty much.
But suffering catfish, Mary, isn't he afraid to disobey Carolina?
Him afraid, Billy. But him afraid of Sultan Balor, too. And him still afraid of Bagani.
Oh, what are we going to do, Uncle Jim? The chief won't let us search all of the shacks of the village.
You're wrong, Betty. Chief say, if white man not believe him, white man can search all through village.
We can't.
If the chief says we can search all through the village, it's a sure sign that Professor Loring isn't in the village. He must be hidden somewhere outside the village.
Me think you're right, Uncle Jim. Me think him hidden in temple.
You think he's in a temple, Manuel? In the temple we just come from?
No, Jack. Him not in that temple. Me think him in another temple.
But great guns, Manuel, do you know where the other temple is?
Me not know, Billy. But maybe we keep eye open, we find out.
Well, the chief has finished his speech. And this is as far as we can go unless we want to get between the chief and his men. Manuel, I want you to tell the chief that the white medicine man is very angry at him. Remind him what the great God said, that my magic is bad magic for him unless he releases his white prisoner.
Me tell him, Uncle Jim. But him not do what you say. Wait. You see? You see who come? Where?
Oh, I see.
Oh, what's that?
Jumping Jiminy gee whiz, Betty. Here comes the Bagani. And he's still dressed up in his carabao head and crocodile skin.
But that isn't all, Billy. Look what he's got in his arm.
Holy smoke, he's got a portable radio set with him. He's taking it from the inside of Carolina.
Uncle Jim, what's he going to do with it?
I don't know, Betty, but I can guess. He's going to show it to the chief. He's going to tell the chief that the great God Kalana didn't really talk at all.
But neither the chief nor the Bagani have ever seen a radio before, Uncle Jim. It'll still seem like magic to them.
That's right, Jack. It'll still be magic to them, but that's not the important thing. The important thing is whether Kalana actually spoke to the chief or not.
Do you mean if the chief believes it wasn't Carolina who spoke to him, but just our magic radio set, and the chief won't do what Carolina told him to do?
That's exactly it, Billy. He may still be afraid of the sound magic, but he won't be afraid of the anger of the wooden god.
Oh, isn't there anything we can do to keep the Bagani from explaining it all to the chief?
I'm afraid not, Betty. We can't very well stop the medicine men by force.
I've an idea, Uncle Jim. Maybe we can keep the chief from listening to the Bagani. Maybe we can make him good and mad at the Bagani.
How'll you do that, Jack?
I'll show you. Where's Manuel? Oh, here he is. Manuel, I want you to say something to the chief that'll make him mad.
Oh, Jack? Me no understand.
Here, I'll show you. I'll get out the mic from my sack. Here it is. Now, just as soon as the Bagani gets to the chief and starts to tell him about finding that radio set inside Carolina, I want you to call to the chief.
Oh, I see what you're doing, Jack. When Manuel speaks into the mic, it'll come out of the radio set that the Bagani is holding.
That's right, Betty. And the chief will think the Bagani's talking.
Golly, that's a swell idea, Jack. You better hurry, though. The Bagani's almost here.
Here, Manuel, you get behind Billy and Betty and me. Then no one will notice that you're speaking into the mic. When I turn on the switch, lay it on safe.
Oh, me understand, Jack. Me tell him something he not like.
There's the Bagani now. He's holding onto that walkie-talkie for dear life. All right, Manuel, talk into the mic.
Oh, look at the Bagani staring at the walkie-talkie.
Oh, but look at the chief, but he can hardly believe his ears. Hey, look at that skull on his face.
Tell him some more, Manuel.
Oh, look at the natives. They're jumping to their feet.
Suffering catfish,
Breakfast, we've started something now, Jack. Say, this is getting serious. The chief is reaching for his knife.
Oh, look at the Pagani. He's taken off his carabao head. He's trying to explain to the chief.
But the chief isn't listening. Betty's walking toward the Pagani with his knife in his hand. Oh, boy, is he mad.
They've gone a little too far, Jack. Things are getting out of hand. Malua, say something that'll make the chief feel better.
Me fix, Uncle Jim. Me laugh. Me make 'em all laugh. You see.
All right, Malua. Laugh into the mic. See if it'll work. Me too, Betty. Oh, but look at the chief. He stopped in his tracks. Keep it up, Malua. In a moment more, the chief will forget he was angry.
In a moment more, the chief will be laughing, too.
Just look at the Pagani, Uncle Jim. Why, even his own little face is starting to smile. Keep it up, Malua. Everybody's going on a laughing. Something this time. I don't know how he'll stop it.
Now's a good time to get that radio set from the Pagani, Jack, while everyone's doubled and laughing.
Yeah, the Pagani has set down the radio to explain this chief, Jack. Let's go, Billy. We'll take it to the Pagani and swing it up to your neck. Okay, Jack. I bet you the Pagani won't even know we've taken it. Here it is. Bring it on your back, quick. I got it, Jack. Julie, are they going to keep on laughing forever? I can't stop. Let's get back to Uncle Jim. Oh, my throat's beginning to hurt, Jack. I got to stop, but I can't. I don't know what we're going to do with you, Uncle Jim. I don't know, Jack. I think...
What's happened? What's everyone looking at?
Look, Uncle Jim. Look coming through the village. Why, it's a Moro.
I see him, Jack. From the way he's dressed, I'd say he was a high-ranking Moro. Who is he, Malua? Do you know him?
Me know him, Uncle Jim. Him come from Sultan Boloa.
From Sultan Boloa? What's he doing here?
Me not know, Jack. But me think him bring news. Maybe big battle start soon between Boloa and Sultan Nathan. Or maybe him come talk to white prisoner. Me find out soon.
Say, what's up now? Has this important-looking Moro from Sultan Boloa brought news of the impending battle? Or has he come to make one final effort to get Professor Loring's secret from him? In either case, there are going to be exciting doings in that Mandayan village very soon. So be sure to listen in, all of you, at this same time next Monday for another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Look, this is absolutely the last call on the luminous gardenia bracelet. Yes, it's the very last time I can tell you about it, so listen carefully. This is your grand opportunity to own a bracelet that's absolutely new and different from any you've ever seen. Just think, you can now wear a beautiful plastic gardenia bracelet that actually glows in the dark. One that's just as lovely at night as it is in broad daylight. So if you girls want one for yourself, or if you fellas want to order one for Mother, this is your last chance. Your order must be in the mails not later than midnight tomorrow. Now, there's no time to wait. Send the top from one Wheaties package together with your name and address and 25 cents, 1 quarter, to Betty, care of Wheaties, Minneapolis, Minnesota. But hurry, after midnight tomorrow, you'll be too late. Get your order for a luminous gardenia bracelet in the mail tonight.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of those brands.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye till Monday for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong! Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. You know, fellas and girls, the thought just struck me this morning. Spring is just around the corner. Look what's happening down in the big league training camps. Your favorite baseball stars are busy getting in shape for another great season. And right now, young athletes all over the country are working out in school and college gyms so they'll be set for early spring track meets and tennis matches. Yes, sir, spring is definitely on the way. And let me ask you, what are you going to do about it? Well, if you're planning to make a name for yourself in school sports these next few months, if you want to start getting in tip-top condition for all the fun that's coming, the thing to do is get in spring training. That's right. Get in spring training just like Joe DiMaggio and Bucky Walters and Bob Feller are doing. These champions know the value of training. They know how it helps to give you a head start toward better performance at your favorite game. And, of course, the training system lots of your favorite athletes recommend is, sure enough, the 3 famous training rules of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Champion Joe DiMaggio himself says, I put my okay on Jack Armstrong's training rules as one of the very best training systems I know for young athletes. You can really learn a lot about training for champion baseball when you start following those swell rules. Here's the system Joe DiMaggio advises. First, get lots of sleep, fresh air, and exercise. Second, use plenty of soap and water every day. Third, eat a genuine breakfast of champions every single morning. A big bowl full of nourishing whole wheat, those crunchy flakes called Wheaties with milk or cream and the fruit you like best. I'm telling you, that breakfast of champions has put a brand new kick into the training schedule of hundreds of great athletes. And it's sure to make training more fun for you, too. Talk about winning flavor. I miss my guess if you don't agree that Wheaties hand you the grandest flavor treat you've ever enjoyed. And nourishment. Well, it would be mighty hard to find a breakfast dish that can top Wheaties at giving you real bodybuilding nourishment. Those toasted Wheaties flakes are a preferred cereal, brimming with all the well-known nourishment of the natural whole wheat grain. You'd better get yourself some Wheaties right away quick. They're swell for training. And now Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. A high-ranking Moro messenger from Sultan Buloa had just come to the Mandayan village in the interior of Mindanao. While the chief and his tribesmen are waiting to receive the Moro messenger, Jack Armstrong and Billy, Betty, Uncle Jim, and Malua are waiting on the outskirts of the crowd to see what news the messenger brings. They have come to the village to rescue Professor Loring, whom they believe to be held prisoner there, although the chief has denied having any white prisoner. The beachcomber Whisper is waiting on a nearby lake in the Outer Gyro, prepared to fly over the village to help Jack and the others if necessary. This Moro messenger from Sultan Buloa is walking imperiously toward the chief. He may bring him news of impending war between Buloa and Sultan Natang, or he may have come in a final effort to extort Professor Loring's secret from him. While Jack and the others wait a little distance from the chief, Malua is preparing to edge up and listen in on whatever the messenger has to say. Listen.
Jumping crickets, Jack. The messenger looks as though he has something important to say.
It must be important, Billy, or he wouldn't have come here.
Maybe he came here to try to get Professor Loring to talk, Jack.
That may be one of the reasons, Betty, but I'll bet there's another reason, too. I'll bet it has something to do with this war that's about to break out between Sultan Buloa and Sultan Natang. Don't you think so, Uncle Jim?
Well, shouldn't be surprised, Jack. Hey, Malua, I thought you were going over there to see what that Mora has to say.
Me go soon, Uncle Jim. Moro not say anything to chief till he make big talk for everybody.
You mean he's going to make a speech to the whole tribe?
That's right, Betty. Moro always make big talk for everybody first, then him talk to chief. You see.
I guess you're right, Malua. He's holding up his hand for quiet.
Look how intense all the natives are, Uncle Jim. They seem to think he has something important to say.
They all know that there's going to be a showdown between Buloa and Natang, Jack. And since they're allies of Buloa, they'll have to fight if the war starts.
Sounds to me as though he's talking the Moro dialect.
That's right, Billy. Him speak Moro tongue, but everybody understand him just saying.
Well, can you understand what he's saying from here, Malua?
We understand, Betty. Soon we tell you what him say. Me not like it.
But why don't you get closer to him, Malua? Don't you want him to see you?
You're right, Jack. Me no want him see me yet. Him know me. Him know me, the friend Sultan Natang.
But the chief is bound to tell him you're here, Malua.
That's right, Betty. But chief not tell him yet. If Chief Ab told him not talk like him talk now.
You mean he's giving away secrets, Malua?
That's right, Uncle Jim. Him tell many important things.
Gee, Manuel, I don't see how you can listen to him and listen to us, too.
Moro talk come in one ear, Billy. English talk come in other ear. Me hear both talk.
He's finished his speech now, Manuel. He's just standing there watching to see how the Mandayas took his talk. What'd he say?
Him say war, Uncle Jim.
War?
That's what him say. Him say very soon Sultan Baloa called together all tribe. They get many war dintas. They get on big river, go to big lake where Sultan Natang stay. Then they have big battle.
Suffering catfish, Manuel. Does Sultan Natang know that Sultan Baloa is going to attack him?
Him know Billy, but him not know when. Now soon, him know when. Me go Sultan Natang. Tell him when.
But you're not going until we rescue Professor Loring, are you, Manuel?
No, Jack. Me help you get Professor Loring first.
The moral sees us. He's pointing at us.
Look sharper, everyone. We don't know what's going to happen now.
Holy smoke, he's coming over toward us. And the chief is coming with him. What do you think that Moro will try to do, Manuel?
Him try get Chief tie me up, Jack. Then him take me Sultan Baloa.
Oh, Mario. But you don't seem a bit afraid.
Him not afraid, Pappy. Chief, him afraid Uncle Jim. Chief think Uncle Jim big medicine man. Chief afraid do anything me.
Suffering catfish. If that Moro finds out that we're here to get Professor Loring, he'll want the chief to make us prisoners, too.
You know it, Billy. Chief still think great God Kal Lana our friend. Him still afraid white man magic.
The chief and the Moro have stopped to talk things over.
Chief tell him we here get white prisoner.
Did he say he's going to give us the white prisoner, Manuel?
Him say he not give us white prisoner, Uncle Jim.
Oh, Jimonetti, now we've got to discover some way to rescue Professor Loring in spite of the chief. But first, we've got to find out just where they're keeping Professor Loring, Billy. We know it's not right in the village.
Me go chief now, Uncle Jim. Me go talk him. Me show him manual, not afraid him. Me tell him again, you big medicine man. Him better be very careful.
All right, Manuel. You tell him that the great god Kalana and I are very angry with him, too.
Me come back soon. You wait here.
Jack, look at the natives over there. What are they going to do?
Search me, Billy. Look at the medicine man, the Bagani. He's got his carabao head on again, and he's dancing up and down in his crocodile skin. And what's that those two natives are bringing to the Bagani, Jack?
Looks like one of their wooden idols, Billy. Yes, that's what it is. It's one of their wooden gods.
Look, they're setting the wooden god on the ground near the Bagani, and he's dancing around it.
Big whales and little fishes. Now the natives are hopping up and down.
Well, Jim, what are they going to do?
Looks as though they're going into a war dance of some kind, Betty.
That's what they're doing, Uncle Jim. They're going into a war dance because of the news the Moro messenger brought them.
Oh, I don't like it. They look so fierce and ferocious.
I don't like it either, Betty. Sometimes they get very much excited after a war dance. Then not even the chief can control them.
Here comes Manuel now, Uncle Jim. And look, the chief and the Moro are going somewhere. And they're not going to the war dance either.
That's odd. I wonder. Well, Manuel, what's afoot?
You know, Uncle Jim. Chief tell Moro him not hurt you.
I'm not worried about that, Manuel. But what's going on? What's the war dance?
Young man are big war dance now, Uncle Jim. For show Moro, they all ready for fight when Baloa send word. Chief, him say him want us stay here, watch war dance.
So he wants us to stay here and watch the war dance, does he? But where are he and the Moro going?
He not go, Jack. But me think they go for top white prisoner.
What's that, Manuel? They're going to Professor Loring?
Me think so, Uncle Jim. That's why Chief say we stay here watch war dance.
Super, if we can watch where they're going, we'll know where Professor Loring is. We've got to follow them, Billy. We've got to find out where they're keeping Professor Loring.
That's right, Jack. You and Billy and me follow Chief and Moro. We not let them see us. We find out.
I don't know about that, Manuel. That's pretty risky.
You trust me, Uncle Jim. No one see us. Everybody in village have war dance now. They not see us when we go.
But suppose the Moro and the chief see him, Manuel.
Chief, him not do anything. He afraid white man magic.
But what about the Moro? He doesn't believe in our magic.
You trust me, Uncle Jim. See? Me got sharp polo and sash. We take care of Moro if him get mad. But him not see us. We be very careful. You stay here with Pappy. Jack and Billy come with me. We find out something.
All right, Manuel. I'll let Jack and Billy go with you. Billy, unstring your walkie-talkie set. Put it back and give it to me. You keep your set, Jack, and we can talk to each other if anything happens. We can talk to Whisper, too, and get him here with the auto gyro if we need him.
Here's my radio set, Uncle Jim. Switch it off.
We go now, Uncle Jim. You trust Manuel.
Come on, Billy. Say, where did the chief and that Moro go to? They've disappeared.
They go this way, Jack. They go downhill this way.
But I don't see anything but trees over that way, Manuel.
That's right, Billy. We go through tree. Then we come Little Creek. Maybe temple somewhere on Little Creek.
So you still think that Professor Loring is kept in some temple, do you, Manuel?
We think so, Jack. We find out soon.
Are all the temples just like the one we saw, Manuel? Are they all just caves in the hillside filled with wooden gods?
That's right, Billy. Some temple big, some temple little. But all temples got wooden god inside.
We know at least one temple has got a crocodile inside it, too, Manuel. A crocodile in a deep pit.
All temple got crocodile, Jack. And I think crocodile belong wooden god.
Oh, so that's why they feed their prisoners to the crocodiles. To make the wooden gods happy.
You're right, Billy. But we no let crocodile eat us.
You can bet we won't, Manuel. Not if I can help it. Look back at the village, Billy. That ward hens is getting to be something fierce. Gee, liquor, it sure is. I hope they don't forget themselves and bother Uncle Jim and Betty.
You know worry, Billy. When my morrow at lake hear war dance, they come see what trouble. They ain't not let anything happen, Uncle Jim.
You've only got a handful of morrows, Manuel.
But they brave morrow, Jack. And I afraid of morrow. You see.
I hope we don't have to see Manuel. I'd hate to see your morrows fighting this whole tribe. Watch these thorny pines between the trees, Billy. They'll tear your clothes off. I'll say they will. Hey, there's a kind of path right here through the trees. The vines and bushes aren't so thick here.
This where Chief and Morrow messenger go, Billy. We be careful now, huh? We not let them see us.
Where are they, man? I don't see them anywhere.
They go downhill, Jack. They downhill by creek. Soon we see.
I want to see in that temple. Say, Manuel, do you really think there'll be crocodiles in that temple?
That's right, Billy. But you know see crocodile. Maybe.
Maybe? Jiminy gee whiz. Somebody's always trying to scare the daylights out of me. Manuel, do you suppose... I mean, they won't let the crocodiles do anything to Professor Loring, will they?
Me no think so, Jack. Not yet. Maybe later, when they finish with Professor Loring, then they do something.
Suffering catfish and assault and below is about to declare war on Sultan Atang. They must be about through with Professor Loring.
We see, Billy. We almost near creek now. Must be very careful now. Make no noise. See?
What do you see, Manuel?
Me see temple, Jack. There.
Yeah, look, Billy. There's the entrance to the temple, all right. I can see two wooden idols in front of it. Did the chief and the Moro go in there, Manuel?
That's right, Jack. Maybe we find Professor Loring in there, huh? Come. We go there now.
Boy, oh boy. You suppose that Professor Loring really is somewhere in that temple? Anyway, Jack and Billy and Manuel are going to find out. And you'll want to be with them when they find out because there's no telling what will happen. So listen in, all of you, at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, make up your mind to have an honest-to-goodness breakfast of champions every morning this week. That means a big helping of solid nourishment and zippy flavor every time you sit down to a big bowl full of those crisp Wheaties flakes with milk or cream and your favorite kind of fruit. Boy, that's eating. Real champion eating pleasure. Better make sure you have plenty of Wheaties on hand.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with olive bran.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions.
Jack Armstrong!
Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be champions, known throughout the land.
Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, bring you the thrilling adventures of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. I'm telling you, fellas and girls, I wouldn't change this year of 1941 for any other year on the calendar. These are exciting days we're living in, and important days, with America preparing for the greatest national defense effort this country has ever made. We're building a fine army for ourselves, the mightiest army of trained, efficient soldiers we've ever known. And out on the great ocean surrounding us, the United States Navy is on patrol. Battleships, cruisers, and fast destroyers by the score. And up in the blue sky, you can hear the steady drone of airplane engines. Scouts and pursuit ships and long-distance bombers. manned by the finest flyers in the world, pilots of the Army, Navy, and Marine Corps. Yes, sir, America really knows how to defend herself. And this national preparedness movement is one we all want to have a part in. That's why I'm proud, mighty proud, to report this exciting news I've just received from the makers of Wheaties. Our own favorite Breakfast of Champions is a regular standby in many Army, Navy, and Marine bases. That's right. A good many soldiers and sailors and Marines are enjoying the very same championship breakfast you can eat every morning in your own home. Why, say, I couldn't possibly begin to name all the forts and airfields and naval bases that are ordering Wheaties every month. They extend from Alaska to Florida and from our East Coast way out to the Hawaiian Islands in the Pacific Ocean. Yes, sir, Wheaties have been sent to the Alaska Defense Forces in Anchorage, Alaska, to Fort Myer, Virginia, to the Philadelphia Navy Yard, to the Marine Barracks in Parris Island, South Carolina, to the Naval Air Station at Jacksonville, Florida, and to many other bases all over the country. Of course, you know that Wheaties are tops at handing out the kind of bodybuilding nourishment active men need. And you can make up your mind to it. A big bowl full of those extra good Wheaties flakes with lots of milk and fruit will really deliver the kind of champion nourishment you want to. I hope you've got your bid in for a Breakfast of Champions every single morning. And now, Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. While Uncle Jim and Betty remain at the Mandayan village, watching the savage natives dancing their war dance, Jack Armstrong and Billy and Melua have followed the Mandayan chief and a Moro messenger from Sultan Buloa. The chief and the Moro have gone into a cave whose entrance is at the bottom of a ravine cut by a mountain stream. This cave is one of the temples of the Mandayas, and Jack thinks that the missing Professor Loring may be held prisoner inside this temple. Right now, as Jack and Billy and Melua are cautiously looking inside this cave, they hear the subdued murmur of conversation coming from the back of the temple. Listen.
Careful now, Billy. Keep close to the side of the entrance as we look in. We don't want anyone inside to see us.
I'll hug this rock wall, Jack. But it sounds as though the chief and that Moro were way back in the temple.
It sounds to me as if there were a flock of men inside there, Billy. How about it, Melua?
You're right, Jack. So we see, huh? We think maybe our many sentry in temple.
If Professor Loring is really in there, they must have some sentries guarding him. They wouldn't leave him alone.
I wish I could see inside. Say, this entrance is a sort of tunnel, and it's curving to the left.
Now we can see, Jake. Shimley, why, it's a huge temple inside.
It's hard to see how big it is, Billy. It's so dark in there. But look, there's a kind of light at the far end. Now, how do you figure that?
We think there's some kind of fire far in temple, Jack.
That's what it is, Jack. There's a small fire that lights up the back end of the temple. And look, there's a bunch of men back there. I can see them in the firelight.
I'll say there are. Well, there must be about 8 men there. And they're forming a circle around something. Who are all those men, Melua?
One man, him chief, Jack. One man, Moro messenger. Other men, maybe they Mandayas. Stay in cave for watch white man prisoner, huh?
Suffering catfish, then Professor Loring must be back there, too.
They must be forming a circle around him, Billy. Look, I can see what's in the center of the circle now. Why, it looks like a tall table made out of rock.
You're right, Jack. That small table made rock. Maybe white man prisoner on that small table.
Holy smoke, you mean they keep their prisoner lying down on a sort of pedestal like that?
Maybe, Billy. Maybe they keep prisoner there so wouldn't God see.
You mean it's a sort of sacrificial table, eh, Melua?
Maybe, Jack. Sometime if they won't find out something from prisoner, they keep him on table long time.
Look, Jack, I think there's somebody on the table now. I think that the Moro is talking to him.
It looks that way, Billy. And it must be Professor Loring.
Hadn't we better tell Uncle Jim, Jack? If that is Professor Loring, we've got to find some way to save him.
We've got to make sure first that it is really Professor Loring, Billy. For all we know, it may be some native prisoner that they've captured. Melua, do you think we can get back there without being seen?
We think so, Jack. Maybe there'll be wooden idol in temple. Maybe we hide behind them, huh?
I think we can do it, Billy. We've certainly got to find out if that's Professor Loring.
We go inside now, huh, Jack? Maybe sentry come back front of cave soon.
But, Jack, if we get inside, we may be trapped.
We've got to risk it, Billy. Look sharp now. We'll go inside and stick close to the right-hand wall. We'll go as far back as we can without being seen. If any of the natives come toward us, we'll hide behind one of those ugly wooden idols. Come on.
I I'm coming, Jack. I'll follow right behind you. Say, Mario, what about those crocodiles that the medicine men keep in these temples?
Crocodile here somewhere, Billy. But you know what it. Crocodile always kept safe place.
You conjimely gee whiz, Mario. There's no safe place for a crocodile. I wish there were more light in this part of the temple. I don't want to step into any crocodile pit.
There's enough light for us to see what's ahead of us, Billy. Stay closer to the wall, Billy. They may see you if you get out in the open.
Okay, Jack. Say, what about the walkie-talkie radio set, Jack? Is it turned on to receive?
Yeah, but it's turned on low, Billy. If Uncle Jim should suddenly decide to talk to me with his set, we wouldn't want the loudspeaker to blare out through the temple.
Maybe you ought to talk to Uncle Jim now, Jack, and tell him what we're doing.
Well, I'll wait until we see if this prisoner is really Professor Loring, Billy. Unless Uncle Jim calls me.
Calling Jack Armstrong. Calling Jack Armstrong.
There's Uncle Jim now.
Jack Armstrong speaking. Hello, Uncle Jim.
Is everything going all right, Jack? Where are you now?
We're in one of the temples, Uncle Jim. We followed the chief and the Moro in here.
That's pretty dangerous, Jack. Do they know you're in the temple with them?
No, they don't, Uncle Jim. They're down at the far end of the temple. And there are 6 other natives with them. They're all gathered around a prisoner.
A prisoner? Is it Professor Loring?
We think so, Uncle Jim. We're edging toward that part of the temple now to find out for sure.
You've got to be careful, Jack. I don't like that risk you're taking.
You bet we'll be careful, Uncle Jim. What's going on in the village?
The natives are still having their war dance. They're getting pretty excited about it, too.
Oh, it seems to me that you and Betty are the ones who better be careful, Uncle Jim.
We're keeping an eye on things, Jack. Valuous Moros have come up from the lake. They're acting as bodyguard for Betty and me. And Whisper's standing by with the autogyro in case we need him to fly overhead and scare off the natives.
We're getting pretty close to the back of the temple, Uncle Jim. I won't talk to you anymore unless I have to. But you keep listening in case I have to call you.
All right, Jack. Let me know as soon as you find out if it is Professor Loring. We're going to have to devise some scheme to rescue him.
I'll let you know, Uncle Jim. I'll sign off for a while now.
Okay, Jack. Signing off.
Boy, oh boy, it's a relief to know that Uncle Jim knows where we are, just in case we get trapped in here.
I'll say it is, Billy. Easy now. We're getting pretty close.
Look, Jack, there's a whole group of wooden figures just ahead of us. If we could get behind them, they'd never see us.
Yeah, that'd be a dandy place to watch, Billy, and to listen to what's going on. But if any of them happened to look this way while we were getting there, they'd see us.
But none of them are looking this way now, Jack.
We'll try it, Billy. You go first when I say the word. There. No one's looking this way now. Tiptoe quickly.
That good place for hijack. You go now, huh?
All right, Manuel. And you join us just as soon as you can.
Wait, Jack. Someone look this way.
I see him, Manuel. Billy got over there just in time. I'll keep behind this wooden idol until that native looks away.
Him look away now. Jack, you go.
Okay, Manuel.
Hurry, Jack. That's all for me.
I'm all right now, Billy. Now, let's take a look at... Billy, it is a white man on that stone table.
It's Professor Loring, Jack. Remember how he looked back at the laboratory in Hudson?
I'll get my mic out and contact Uncle Jim. Here it is. Calling Uncle Jim. Calling Uncle Jim.
Uncle Jim speaking. What is it, Jack?
We're close enough to see the prisoner, Uncle Jim. He's lying flat on his back, but I'm sure it's Professor Loring.
Now we're getting somewhere, Jack. Is he all right?
He's not moving, Uncle Jim. And he looks terribly thin, almost like a skeleton.
But is he alive, Jack?
He must be alive, Uncle Jim. The Moro's talking to him.
Can you hear him, Jack? Is he talking English?
I can't hear a word, Uncle Jim. Some of the other natives are talking, too.
Are you in a safe place, Jack? Are you where they can't see you?
We're in a swell place, Uncle Jim. We'll stick around a little while and see what we can find out.
All right, Jack. Perhaps Magua can find out what the Moro is saying if he's talking the dialect. I'll keep listening in.
All right, Uncle Jim. I'll sign off now. Look, Billy. Some of the natives are leaving. They're going to the front of the temple.
Suffering catfish. It looks as though they're all leaving except the Moro.
Keep crouched behind these wooden gods, Billy. I wish Manuel... Oh, here you are, Manuel. What's going on?
Meeting Moro send everybody front of temple, Jack. Maybe him want talk white man prisoner alone.
It looks that way, all right. Say, what's the Moro got in his hand?
That coconut shell, Jack.
But Jiminy Jupiter, what's in the coconut shell?
Me think water in shell be.
Oh, he's going to give Professor Loring a drink of water.
Me not think so, Jack. Me think him let white man prisoner see water. But him no give him.
What? That's what he's doing, Jack. I bet you Professor Loring hasn't had a drink of water for days, and the Moro's trying to bribe him to talk with that water.
Maybe you're right, Billy. Say, look how Professor Loring is made fast to that stone table. Why, he's fastened with an iron chain and a great big padlock.
Gosh, old Willikins, where on earth did the Mandayas ever get a chain and padlock?
Maybe all Spanish chain, Billy. When Spanish here, they use planation.
That's where it came from, all right. From the days when the Spaniards ruled the country. But that means we've got to get the key to the lock before we can get Professor Loring loose.
Me think key somewhere in temple, Jack.
But great whales and little fishes, Manuel. It'll be some some job to find it. Shh, Billy.
White man want drink, huh?
Yes. Give me a drink of water.
Me give you drink. Me give you drink when you tell where magic land is.
What does he mean by the magic lane, Jack?
He must mean the place where the uranium deposits are, Billy. That's the information Geppetto's been trying to get.
What you say, white man? You tell me where magic land is, huh? Then me give you a drink.
No, I won't tell you. I won't tell Balloa.
Then you no drink. Look, me put drink here. Me put drink here where you see. But you no get drink. How you like that, huh?
Wait, Jack, we've got to do something. We can't just stay here and see Professor Loring suffer that way.
Keep your head, Billy. Let's see what's going on at the front end of the temple. Why, everyone's gone. They've left the temple.
They no go far, Jack. They go outside, so no one else come in while Moro talk white man prisoners.
Oh, look, Jack. Professor Loring's head has dropped back. His eyes are closed. We've got to help him soon, Jack, or it may be too late.
You're right, Billy. Say, since that messenger is a Moro, maybe he's afraid of the dragon's eye ring. What about it, Malua?
That's right, Jack. All Moro afraid of rings a Chinese night.
I've got it here in my pocket. Here it is. Look at it burn with its green fire. Malua, now's the time to use this ring.
You're right, Jack. You give me ring. Maybe we got big surprise for Moro, huh?
But we've got to get the key to that padlock, Jack. We can't rescue Professor Loring without that.
The first thing to do is to get some water to him before it's too late, Billy. And maybe that Moro knows where the key is hidden. Here, Malua, here's the ring. And just in case that Moro doesn't believe in the magic of the ring, you'd better have your bolo ready for action. Now, go ahead and do your stuff. Say, didn't Jack forget one thing? Didn't he forget to tell Uncle Jim what they're going to do? Because that Moro isn't by himself. Don't forget that the native sentries are just outside the temple, and a single outcry will bring them in. You certainly won't want to miss what's coming in this exciting rescue of Professor Loring. So listen in, all of you, at this same time tomorrow for another thrilling episode of The Adventure of the Missing Professor Loring with Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy. Now, let's have Wheaties for breakfast tomorrow morning. A big bowl full of those extra good Wheaties flakes with lots of milk or cream and a glass of fruit juice. On every count, nourishment and satisfaction and keen, fresh flavor. That's your breakfast of champions.
Have you tried Wheaties? They're whole wheat with all of the brands.
This is Franklin McCormick saying goodbye until tomorrow for General Mills, makers of Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions, who have just presented another episode of Jack Armstrong, the All-American Boy.
So just buy Wheaties, the best breakfast food in the land. Wave the flag for Hudson High, boys. Show them how we stand. Ever shall our team be...